Welcome, race fans, to Wednesday Night Racing for the Elite Racing Network. We're host Alexander Ned here, joined in the booth by Rashav, and tonight we are going to be describing to you virtually on the Irish Hills of Michigan. So glad you could join us here for the Memory Lanes 200, located at Michigan International Speedway. Yes, this giant 2-mile racetrack going to play host the third stop of the season here, and you can just feel the excitement building because this time around here, Rashav, we have these next-gen cars.
We've already gotten 2 races underway with these next-gen cars, and both of them have been pretty impressive. Of course, the Daytona 500, and then last week at Pocono, a few more cautions than we would have liked, but we still get a good idea as to what these cars are like on big tracks. So now, a little bit smaller here, 2 miles versus 2.5 miles for the first 2 races this season, but still expect a lot of drafting, a lot of movement throughout the field. This one's going to be a really exciting race. We had a great time here last season. I'm expecting for a similar situation this time around.
Drivers we are going to be taking note of there. Hot off his win from last week, Matthew Weeks. He's starting on the outside pole here. That 11 car seems to be going on a streak.
Yeah, Matthew, he loves these larger type ovals. So 2.5 miles at Pocono, of course, got the pole there and defended well against Tyler Fode. Throughout that race, despite all those cautions, despite everything that happened there, went on to win. And then this is a driver who back in 2020, I believe it was 2020B, went on to win right here at Michigan. Loves this style of racetrack, Auto Club Michigan, these kind of slightly flatter 2-mile racetracks. Look out for him there. Right now, it was only 4th fastest, though, so we're going to have some work to do maybe moving forward. Meanwhile, teammate Ethan Burrell right now on the back straightaway, just 1 spot ahead in 3rd. Ooh, is Tate Lytle there, just finishes his flying lap. Most of these guys finishing up their flying laps as, here we go, Nick Massey with Sky Motorsports goes up to the top of the timesheets right now in qualifying. But yeah, definitely a lot to look forward to. Nick Massey, your Daytona 500 winner. Keep an eye out on him. Matthew Weeks, of course, your winner from Pocono just 1 week ago. We'll keep an eye on him. And, of course, a lot of other talented drivers throughout the field who've maybe had some misfortune in the first 2 weeks or just haven't quite put it all together to grab the win. Still a long way to go. Chad Frankenfield, one of those guys that comes to mind.
Yeah, exactly. He wrecked out there early in the Daytona 500. Did not have a good Pocono as well. This Ford Mustang, like the Chrome, looked those numbers giving there, but he definitely wants just a good finish. And really, Rashav, it's never too early to begin thinking about points. We only have 18 races, I believe, that decide the season here, but we're about a third of the way into the regular season and after this race, and we're gonna need to start seeing some results here, or you can find yourself in a deep hole with a must-win situation on the horizon very quickly.
Yeah, you can. You really do need to start thinking about points. You need to start thinking about those bonus points as well that are offered in races and just kind of accumulating them. We saw last season what success looks like and how you get towards a championship, and it's be like a Tate Lytle style driver where you are just consistent. Whatever the car is giving you, you are performing at that level. You cannot be pushing that car beyond whatever it has for you on a particular day. You just kind of have to finish there, and we saw that with Tate Lytle finishing pretty much always inside that top 5. Of course, grabbing a couple of wins there as well on the season doesn't hurt. But yeah, I mean, you have to be consistent to be successful in this series.
Consistency is always key. While we await the final seconds of qualifying here, going to give a shout out to some of the real life NASCAR. How about Austin Cindric winning the Daytona 500? That race was amazing. Rashav, you and I were just talking about it before we got on air. You were able to catch the last 40 laps, but that 500 with those next-gen cars, that is going to be one for the history books, especially with a rookie taking the checkered flag.
Yeah, for him to do it there on I think it's his second attempt. He raced there last season, but to be in his first full-time season is awesome. Yeah, I mean, it was a crazy finish. The package looked pretty good overall for a brand new race car, so no complaints there from my end. And obviously, if it looks good in real life, it should hopefully look good on iRacing. And I think from what I saw from the highlights of the race is iRacing seems to have nailed the package for these next-gen cars versus how they raced in real life. I think the way they rolled in real life, very similar to what we saw 2 weeks ago in our own Elite Daytona 500 with this same modern package for the next-gen car. So hats off to iRacing for getting that right and allowing all these drivers here in the Elite Racing Leagues to be able to drive very similar or as close as we've seen, I think, in a long time to what the real-life package looks like.
Yeah, the Cup Series is going to be taking on a 2-mile racetrack this week as well. Be an Auto Club. Be over 2 years since we last visited. If you remember there before the pandemic, Alex Bowman actually had that win. We were unable to go there in 2021 due to the start of the continuation at that point of the pandemic. But that 2-mile racetrack going to play host to these next gen cars. Excited to see what that will come around. I believe this is what we call a last race qualifier here. I think we have 3 cars going to attempt to make the race right here. You're taking a look at Tim Borden, that 16, Harrison Talon, and then Brody Moore. Don't know exactly, though, what's going on there. Oh, maybe you can help me out, because I'm not. I'm not.
Yeah, yeah, it's one of those things that we have with iRacing when we do have more than 40 cars in the lobby. So these bottom 3 drivers, like you said, this is a last chance qualifier. However, they should be, let's see if they're actually going for it in terms of fighting for position, or if it's just going to be based off of times.
Should be all 3 are in.
All right, so there you go. From Dave Huckleberry, all 3 cars are in. So this is just so that we can allow those cars to take part in the event. That's just iRacing not allowing us more than 40 cars through standard qualifying. So this will just be a situation where they should just roll around for a couple of laps here, and then we'll be good to go. So you'll see 3 laps to go right now. They'll run a quick 2-lap heat, and then we'll get to the main event. So Tom Borden, Harrison Talon, Brody Moore, unfortunately get the distinction of being pointed out as the 3 cars who qualified at the back of the pack, but certainly a long way to go once the race gets started, where they can easily move forward. 100 laps tonight here at Michigan, 200 miles. That can go by very quickly if we stay without cautions. It can also take quite a bit of time, as we saw at Pocono last week.
Yeah, good thing for these guys, just some extra track time, I would imagine that this would help their chances of trying to get some time in these next-gen cars before the start of the race here. So you're going to see 2 laps to see what happens here. Tim Borden's going to lead them down the grid. Don't know necessarily if they're going to race it out or perhaps just try to keep it tame here so far. No need to keep that car, though, from out of trouble. They get hard on the gas, and the 16 and the 23, it is a dead heat heading into turn number 1. 2 laps to go. All 3 of these cars are going to be in. Let's see who has the honor of leading these last chance qualifiers here with 3 to go, actually.
Yeah, right now, so Tom Borden for that Sky Motorsports team leading off of turn number 2. Actually, a little bit of a jerk to the right, and Harrison Talon has to react to that. They've kind of left Brody Moore in the dust just a little bit, but there's that run on the outside lane for Harrison Talon. Going to kind of lose a little bit of that and maybe a little bit of loose nature for these cars right here, at least looking at both the way Tom Borden and Harrison Talon have been driving. You see another twitch there from the 23. So they'll cross the line here, and we'll actually have 2 laps to go.
Or excuse me, Tim Borden actually dipped below that white line. There's no out-of-bounds line here at Michigan. That could play a factor as well. Notice how high Harrison Talon was in that position of the racetrack as he turns up under the 16 this time there. I noticed him really high up in turn 3 and 4. Wonder if we're going to see more guys venture out that, because we typically don't see that in the real world here. Harrison Talon with a nice slide job to get around the 16 and crossover, and he's going to lead them down for the white flag here.
Yeah, white flag there. Good move by Harrison Talon on the inside. That's going to give him the spot. Tom Borden, and meanwhile, Brody Moore kind of just rolling around back here, just not too bothered, I think, with this result. Again, we're talking about 2 different change of 2 positions here in a longer race, so not as much of a big deal here. But for Harrison Talon, at least a little bit of practice. Harrison Talon and Tom Borden, some practice there, maybe just getting some side-to-side racing before the race itself gets underway. Of course, these guys should have done a lot of that in practice earlier tonight as well. But around the final corner, turn 4, Harrison Talon is going to win this heat race. Amongst the 3 cars, Harrison Talon, Tom Borden, and then Brody Moore. And now we're going to get ourselves back to the main event here in just a few moments' time, where the 43 cars will be gridded up, including Talon, Borden, and Moore, right at the tail end of the field.
43 cars here tonight. How about that? A number we typically see here for the Cup Series is you take a look at the front row. It's going to be Colin Bowden leading them down in that 69 car, and Nick Massey, the defending Daytona 500 champion, on the outside, followed by Trevor Elam and Jared Rexing. Looks like Ethan Burrell and Daniel Martinez are going to round out row number 3.
Yeah, Chad Thornquist, after a strong run at Pocono, going to be in 7th there. Jacob Adams as well, back to the scene of the Cup Series. After missing last week, I think he was pretty happy to not have been there last week and been in Daytona. Scott Crump and Matthew Weeks, meanwhile, rounding out your top 10 with Josh Adams, Chad Frankenfield there in that in that 6th row.
It'd be hard to pick a favorite here tonight as you take a look at the starters outside the top 10. Johnny Thomas and R.C. Anderson, Tyler Fody and Tate Lytle having a slow start to the season here for the defending champ there. Richard Hines and David Tooker going to fill out row number, I believe that's 8. Actually, I lost count. Don't have the row numbers there. You caught me there. But Jesse Rasmus and Branson Stafford, row 20. I believe that's row 10. There we go. I should have.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Tate Lytle disappointed with 2nd place at Pocono. You can tell he wants to win every race he can. But we talked about it just earlier in qualifying, right? It's maximizing the result that you can get, and I don't think he was going to be able to do much about his teammate Matthew Weeks last week. This time around, though, starting P16. Never look at the starting position for that 56 car, though, I will say, because he always finds a way to move forward in the race. As we scroll through the rest of this starting grid, couple of things to note. So the pole sitter, the 69 car, Colin Bowden, pre-race infraction, they're going to guess that's a banner issue. Same thing with the 29 car. So actually, that's 2 of our cars right inside the top 4, I think, both given penalties to start at the end of the line at the start of this race.
And you'll have to forgive me, Rashad, I honestly do not know, but when like a pole setter fails to be able to lead the event, does that whole row move up, or does everybody kind of switch positions?
So the way I've always seen it is that whole row is going to move up, and I think that's what we're going to see here. So a little bit more jumbling of positions because of that. So you see here Daniel Martinez right now lined up, I believe, on the effective pole position, though I'm not sure. They might be crediting Nick Massey, and he might have just picked that top lane here for the start. So a little bit confusing there with the way that plays out with 2 of our top drivers, but we are going to get to green flag racing here just momentarily. So either way, it's not really going to matter.
So Nick Massey going to bring him through the Geico restart zone, and the memory lane 200 is about to be underway. Actually, it looks like it's
to be a delayed green.
Start.
Yeah,
delayed green once again.
Yeah, so some issue there. Race control not happy with the way that guys were lined up, maybe a little bit further back in the pack. So far, it looks everybody was okay here, but maybe still a little bit of shuffling. And yeah, maybe a little bit of disorganization towards the back positions. So we're going to go around for one more lap here. That's going to be a waved off. Or no, actually, it's not going to be waved off. Technically, the green flag did wave, but the pace car is out here now. And they're going to run a lap here under the pace car before we go back to fully green flag racing. So unfortunately, going to lose a lap of racing here, but just part of it seems.
Yeah, I was hoping, maybe Dale Jr. just magically appeared in the back, and we were just going to have him be a part of the field there.
Yeah, last time this happened, last time we had a delayed start, we did get Dale Jr. in the race, and he gave us some great action in Daytona. Unfortunately, in terms of professional drivers, we have R.C. Anderson and Jeff Green, our regulars, though I shouldn't say unfortunately. It's always great to have them in the field here today. But yeah, no Dale Jr. tonight for those of you who might have been tuning in hoping he'd be showing up here.
Right, so they're going to round turn 3 and 4. Pace car going to take the expected hard left turn and get out of Dodge. We are about to see virtually speeds upwards of 200 miles an hour. I believe this is considered NASCAR's fastest track that we go to on the circuit. So glad you could join us here for another exciting night for the JoinAPS Cup Series. The green flag is back out. The 33 car on the gas, and they are through the Geico restart zone with Nick Massey in tow, and we are underway. The memory lane's 200 heading to turn 1.
Yeah, so Daniel Martinez then was the control car. That does make sense as that whole lane would have moved up and probably moved up 2 positions, I think, there. So great for Daniel Martinez, and that gives him now clean air as they head out onto the back straightaway ahead of Nick Massey. Jared Rexing then is going to defend from Ethan Burrell, who's side by side with Chad Thornquist, though now they're all single filed up front. Meanwhile, just towards a little bit further back here, you have Jacob Adams on the outside of Scott Crump, and Joshua Adams, his brother, going to follow him on the outside of the racetrack, exiting turn 4.
Yeah, a lot of drivers there kind of going up to the pit house sweep there, filling outside of cautions on the speedway there. Trouble in the back of the pack, I would expect. Everybody needs to roll out of the throttle here. We'll quickly be under the yellow flag. Yes, big incident. Scott Haney in the 3 cars around. Rusty Capel also looks like he's able to avoid the action, but the first car sideways in our shot.
Ooh.
We see the 12 car as well. A lot of cars having trouble. In turns 3 and 4, the 61 also with an issue.
Yeah, it looks like it starts here with the 12 car of Vincent Isabella. Coming off of that podium finish last week at Pocono as well, this isn't going to be a great way for him to start this off, but let's take a look here. So this is going to be Isabella. Watch that 12 car. Could get loose on the high side here. That's what we're hearing from the drivers, and there it is. Just get loose, a little bit of a snap, up into the wall, spins it around, but there's also, so that happens, but there's more of a crash almost ahead of these guys. There's that Scott Haney spin, Rusty Capel in there as well. That all happens behind here. Oh, Harrison Talon with the hit as well.
Yes.
Quite a few cars. Hunter Smith and who else is that? Is that Cody Harrington stopped? A lot of cars involved in this one.
Yeah, the 14 kind of got plowed into there. Hunter Smith as well. And just ahead of that Vincent Isabella spin was the 61. So kind of 2 separate issues there for half the field to navigate, just getting up to speed. 1 lap in, and it's chaos.
Yeah, it really is, and you hate to see that here. We're going to see once again here on the Whiskey Cast replay, see what happens ahead of the Vincent Isabella situation. So we saw that 12 car getting loose, but it looked like just up the road there was, like you mentioned, that 61 car of Bronson Stafford, I believe, also getting loose, and that kind of triggered a whole other set of incidents. So let's take a look and see here at what we can find. So watch, here's that 61 FRN car.
A little bit of help
from Andrew Rucker there.
Teammate or no? Oh, he's going to collect the 14. That is an extremely hard hit for Hunter Smith.
Yeah, 14 of Hunter
Not
Smith.
The front clip off, but that was a big reason why.
Yeah, Hunter Smith with a big hit. Shane Terrian, Cody Harrington involved in that. A lot of good cars involved in that. Kind of starts with a bit of a check up mid-corner, and that 61 being kind of sent around by the 64 of Andrew Rucker.
Caution flag out for multiple incidents in turn 3 and 4 there.
61 at fault. So yeah, just checked up poorly, lost that car then, and so maybe we just didn't quite see it too well on that last angle. But yeah, 61 car gets a tally issued there. No end-of-line penalties the way we're doing it this season. So there you go. So tally issued. So penalty given out there for the 61 car. He's going to be able to continue racing, though. Going to restart for this in the 34th position after coming down for some new tires and obviously to fix some damage to that car.
1 to go here, I would expect. Looks like the lights are out of the pace car, yes, but you had mentioned some of these guys. We had practice at qualifying there. What do you think really brought that on there in the back of the pack? Guys just really not expecting the car to get that loose that quickly on lap 1?
Yeah, sometimes you get, especially early on in the race, you have guys maybe just trying to go and push a little bit too hard. You don't know quite what you have underneath you. Sometimes the track conditions change a little bit from practice to qualifying to the race. So there's a bunch of changes that kind of happen that can have an effect here. It's hard to say exactly since I wasn't quite aware of what track temperatures were in practice, but if they've gone up since practice started in the race, obviously the track becomes slicker, easier to lose the rear end here. It could just be a situation where yeah, guys are just pushing hard, trying to make up positions on the start of the race. It happened in the back of the pack. That makes sense. And just pushed a little bit over the limit, lost those cars and went around.
I have a feeling, though, that will not be the first time we see trouble on that section of the speedway here, as they are double wide once again, heading for the first restart of the night. And
yes, they are.
The control car this time, and he's going to pick the outside there. Sorry, Rashawn.
No, he's got the outside lane. He's got not really a teammate, but there's definitely a relationship there between Fueled Up Racing and Pro Edge Racing with Ethan Burrell right behind him. But he dictates the start once again, and great timing there to get easily past Nick Massey. He can pick that bottom lane if he wants it. He also has the ability to pull Ethan Burrell in that 37 car along with him, and he does so. So how about that? 33-37, that outside lane rolling off really well to start this particular run here, though Nick Massey not quite going to let Burrell get away with it too quickly. We'll see what they look like down this back straightaway is a little bit loose for our leader.
Yeah, we saw the 48 car also look like break a little win there on the exit of turn 2. Looks like Jared Rex is going to try and take advantage of that. They're side by side for third place. Entering into the picture inside the top 5, though, Scott Crump. You see that brightly colored machine. We see one car really low on the exit of turn 4. And yellow flag is back out.
Oh, no.
Another issue in the back of the pack.
Who's that?
This one's going to involve the 08.
Yeah, 08 car Mark Keeler here involved in that one. Don't see any other cars out on the racetrack, so is this just a single car wreck here for Keeler? Let's take a look.
Ooh.
Once again,
big time wobble in the middle of the corner.
Yeah, that same kind of idea of just getting loose mid-corner makes it really difficult to just handle these cars. So let's see if we can grab that maybe a little bit earlier on when the incident occurred and see if there's anything that kind of can give us away. But same corner, same basic ideas to what happened earlier on, right? And we're going to see this potentially a few more times here tonight.
Traveling along the outside lane here, which seems to be the preferred group for a lot of these drivers, but yep, center of the corner between turn 3 and 4, tries to gather it up, almost had it saved there briefly, but then car makes a sharp right-hand turn into the outside wall. Front clip is knocked out and a lot of damage there. I would expect a couple of minutes on pit road if that thing is not indeed killed already.
Yeah, for sure. Expect him to come down pit road, but lucky that nobody else got involved in that wreck either. So yeah, there's that. But already there you go, single car incident. But turn 3 really seems like it's the one that's biting these drivers. So something to look out for here. Just lap 7 of 100. Hopefully we're not on track right now to be matching the caution tally that we had at Pocono this time last season.
Yeah, I'd like to see these guys try to get up to speed. Haven't had 2 consecutive laps of green flag racing. See another car already trying to get their lap back. This caution, though, a big break for the guys that had damage earlier in our first caution flag. I think I saw Harrison Talon already going down 2 laps down, but maybe he's able to fix some of that damage there, as well as others, as we continue to pace around the field, or pace around the track there behind the pace car.
Yeah, gonna pace here for technically the 3rd time if you count out that waved start of this race. But I suppose these caution flags do give us an opportunity here up in the booth to speak about our sponsors here at the Elite Racing Leagues and Elite Racing Network. And starting as always with C2 Freight Resources, they offer complete freight management services and are ready to meet your needs today as well as your changing needs in the future. With thousands of qualified carriers in their database, they're capable of handling shipping for every type of good, from perishable foods to office equipment. Whatever you need to ship, they have access to the necessary equipment, including flatbeds, double drops, vans, tankers, refrigerated equipment, multi-axle heavy haulers, dump trucks, auto carriers, intermodal containers, and more. Check out C2 Freight Resources, a great premier sponsor here at the Elite Racing Leagues. Lights are out on the pace car. We're going to get guys lined up 2 by 2 here, and hopefully we'll get more than just 3/4 of a lap under green this time around.
I know, as a driver, that sometimes can mess up your rhythm trying to just try and get going. There's that, what I would call, pre-race tension, trying to start an event, but they really haven't been able to kind of let that energy flow through and get what they need out of the race car there, learn what they want out of the automobile they're handling there virtually, just because we've been under the yellow flag so consistently in turn 3.
Yeah, that turn 3 is going to be one to watch out for all race long, and twice now we've had it happen in the back of the pack. The terrifying thing is going to be happening, what happens if this happens to one of these first cars running up front. That could lead to a massive incident. So guys need to be aware of that. Just take it easy, I think, early on in this race. Such a long way to go in this one still. Let's get some green flag laps underneath our belts and kind of see how the cars evolve over that. Right now, guys just seem to be too jittery, too early on the throttle, and we're seeing this is we haven't been able to stay green yet.
Right, so for the 3rd time here tonight, we're already on lap 8. Pace car going to dive down pit road, probably the smartest place for him. We've seen the calamity already on the track. Daniel Martinez going to control the start this time once again on the outside. Ethan Burrell to his inside. They're through the Geico restart though. We're back under the green flag, side by side as we see Martinez switch lanes. They'll go to the inside, but they're side by side for second on back.
Yeah, so another time there where, again, Ethan Burrell gives that 33 car a chance to slot down in front of him. Those guys will work together. Burrell now goes up to the top lane to block a run from the 48 car of Nick Massey, and Jared Rexing left out a little bit to dry there, drops down into the 4th position. They're single-filed up front. Meanwhile, Scott Crump challenging for that 5th position here against Chad Thornquist on the outside. Meanwhile, 2nd place, you got them 2 wide as well. Now here is Nick Massey looking to the inside of Ethan Burrell as the caution is back out again.
Not what we wanted to see up in the booth. Not what these guys wanted to see in front of the field. This time it's going to be the 15 of Chad Frankenfield.
Oh, and
back
the 56. 19.
Taking out Tate Lytle, David Tooker. Some heavyweights are going to be gone because of that issue with the 15.
Yeah, 15 car, same thing we were just talking about here. Huge hit for a lot of these cars, but 15 car, I mean, just got it loose. Here, let's take a look at the same angle here. Loose entering turn 3, and after that, the car suddenly snaps back up the racetrack. 56 car in that, 19 car in that, a few others to the bottom of the racetrack. I have Bronson Stafford, I think, also got caught up in some of that there. Let's take a look. There's 3 of those. The 64's in that. The 32. There's the 61 in that again. We mentioned David Tooker. Rusty Capel got caught up. I think he actually just slowed down, so he might have been okay there. But man, oh man, oh man, a huge hit, huge incident. And I just mentioned what happens if one of those drivers further up in the pack gets involved in an incident like that where they lose their car in 3rd position. That's what happens. You have a lot of good race cars now out of this one on just lap 10, I think, of 100 we're here on here.
Yeah, we're at this rate here, Rashad, we're beginning to run out of race cars to finish the event. 2 Pro Edge Racing cars gonna be out, or at least significant damage. Both David Tooker and Tate Lytle, the defending series champion, involved in Tate Lytle. There's no question. That was an extremely hard hit. He had nowhere to go once the 15 got loose right in front of him.
Yeah, and that might be worth exploring actually there, is just seeing what, how that 56 car just got completely destroyed by that incident there. But let's take a look and see if we can grab maybe an onboard with Tate Lytle, who, that's not really the way you want this race to go, and you don't really want it to play out like this so early on. But yeah, let's take a look here.
For a lot of these guys, what a way to begin this event. For some others, what a way to end it. Take a look at this.
Oof. That's a huge hit for Tate Lytle there as well. Nowhere to go on that one. You kind of saw that coming, that happening, but you also don't expect that 15 car to come flying back up the racetrack. You kind of hope that Chad's able to, with that loose condition, just take it down onto the grass and get out of the way of everybody. But clearly difficult to control these cars right here. So, yeah, Frankenfield with that mistake, and that's going to take away the races of a lot of drivers here. Being told to check out the replay of the 6 car of Zach Evans, so we'll check that out as well.
Again, this all happens when the 15 of Chad Frankenfield loose in the corner. Turn 3, it's been Calamity Corner all night long. Hard to say that, hard to believe that, only 10 laps in. But it's been a long night for these guys here, and you're going to take a look and ride on board with the 6 car, who somehow is able to navigate around it.
Yeah, we'll see just how wild of a ride Zach Evans gets here. We'll see if we'll ride on board here, have a cockpit cam with Zach Evans, so that'll be even more fun. This is the driver's eye view here. So on board with Zach Evans as the incident takes place just in front. There you start to see, there's the 15 car, there's that huge collision. And there you just see kind of everything playing out. Ooh, wow. Has to avoid that spinning up Tate Lytle, who's totally out of control and does get through it all. But yeah, we can't really be having that every lap here. So, I mean, hats off to Zach Evans for that wreck avoidance. But yeah, we're going to want to see more than a week. I don't think we've completed a single full racing lap yet.
No, we've not had any consecutive laps under the green flag here tonight. Barry, the iRacing flag man, going to have a very sore arm at the end of this one here. It's one by one, contenders getting to find themselves in trouble and out of this race here as of late. The memory lane's 200. It's been a memory, all right. For some of these drivers, they want to forget it. Daniel Martinez back on the loud pedal. We are back under the green flag for how long?
Yeah, we'll see here. We might want to keep a closer eye to the back of the field, but right now, watching just as the front kind of kicks off here, Jared Rexing, good pace on the top side there in that 10 car. We'll see if he can carry that off of turn number 2. Not quite the run, though. He might start to get there, especially with some draft help from the 37 in front. So now, once again, Nick Massey slots back into 4th. A solid gap as well further back here. Thornquist deep into turn number 3, and side by side, you see there Josh Adams and Matthew Weeks. Scott Crump gets loose on the bottom. Gonna hold it together, though.
He does, but he's gonna lose a ton of spots. That's gonna kick him outside of the top 10. But we are on our second consecutive green flag lap, and thankfully, that was not a bigger issue for the 90 car. Battle up front. Here comes the 10 car, giving the business to the outside lane of the 37 of Ethan Burrell, using Daniel Martinez's draft to put that 10 car up to second place.
Yeah, and you can see that support from being behind the 33 car stronger than the side draft that Ethan Burrell tried to get on the 10 car. And here you go, Jared Rexing to the front of the field. A little bit loose on the bottom, but you see there Martinez has to track way up top on the racetrack, and it's going to be Jared Rexing is going to be, not credited quite with the lead that time by, with a good run on the outside by Martinez, but still side by side for the lead here. Great battle going on here between these three, but Martinez back out in front.
Yeah, it looked like that 10 car almost briefly had it. Couldn't quite clear that 33 car, and with the support from the 37 car, he's actually going to fall back to third place in line. There's Thornquist in that 02.
Yeah, Chad Thornquist.
Go ahead.
Just set the fastest lap of the race on that last time around, 0.2 of a second faster than these guys up front. You can see just how quickly this 02's catching up, and that's kind of the draft package that we've been talking about. Look at that run from Matthew Weeks up top. Shot by these guys.
Yellow flag has been out for about 20 seconds there, so that was why.
That would be it. I'm like, wow.
The fourth yellow flag. We didn't want it to end.
Oh, man.
But unfortunately, the fourth one is out. Does it involve the 48 in RC?
Oh, it does!
It does! Oh, the defending Series Daytona 500 champion into the outside wall, a victim of turn 3 once again.
Yeah, there you go. So RC Anderson gets loose on the bottom. That gets the 48 car involved. Mark Keeler has to take avoiding action. That's, I don't know what the heck happened there for the 08 car either. He kind of avoids it, but loses total control of his car as he's trying to avoid there. So Keeler as well.
Smith as well. And that 14 car, both those cars had already had earlier damage from earlier issues of the day. But yeah, RC Anderson getting loose up underneath. A classic case of one car getting loose and another car becoming a victim. It's been the story all night long. It plays really out once again.
Yeah, one thing we haven't quite seen, though, is what is it actually like on board with these drivers when they lose the car. So let's do this with RC Anderson here and just show you guys what these cars are like to handle. So here you go. RC Anderson in this 50 car, the one who I think basically causes this particular wreck with getting loose on the bottom here. Let's take a look. There you just see it. Just kind of snaps loose.
Just that little bit.
Yeah.
But it's enough, and thankfully he does it. He almost got it to look where the 90 Scott Crump. That earlier issue put him right in harm's way. Thankfully, he was able to avoid it right there. RC Anderson's actually able to continue on, but it's Nick Massey who has to fix the damage because of that, and other competitors as well. We mentioned Keeler and Smith also with an issue.
Yeah, so, I mean, just taking a quick look at this, obviously, so the top 10 drivers, we've had a few drivers without really any major damage to fix, but effectively, I mean, top 10 are the only drivers I'm looking at that really haven't had any issues yet tonight. Most drivers, we have, let's see, let's take a quick look at this. I think we have about 10 cars who are not officially retired, but have been on pit road for long enough to effectively be retired from this race on lap 17 of 100 here. We have Nick Massey, who's been in for a long time repairing that damage. R.C. Anderson's been in for a while. We also have guys who are still running out on the racetrack who have been in for quite a bit of damage. So Shane Tarian, Cody Harrington, Scott Crump came in for a bit of damage repair. Vincent Isabella was involved in that earlier wreck. Trevor Elam. I'm mentioning drivers who are all on the lead lap right now. We probably have maybe only about 20 cars who haven't seen any of these wrecks yet. That's craziness considering we're not even at 20% distance on this race.
No, not at all. And the time to get down pit road, you have to begin wondering this. This is when the driver kind of becomes their own crew chief here. You have to begin, is this race going to play out kind of like this, or are we expecting a green flag run?
I mean, you'd hope we get some. Yeah, you'd hope we get some green flag run. I mean, though, again, we this is kind of right now shaping up to be something similar to what we saw at Pocono last week, where we'd keep hoping for that green flag run to come, but every single time we'd only get a few laps under our belts, and then we'd go back to caution situations here. That's kind of what we're seeing here, and this is kind of surprising to me because in the elite racing leagues, traditionally, we haven't really had issues at these larger tracks. Intermediate to large tracks have really never been a massive problem. A lot of the times, we're able to run these races with 1 or 2 cautions, and that's it. And these past 2 weeks have shown that there's definitely something in this next-gen package that really has a lot of these drivers' numbers right now.
And exactly, they're struggling to find grip here. One car, though, that I want to keep an eye on that's been able to navigate through the yellow flags that we have is in the 6th position. Look at that 69 car. He started at the tail end of the field here after gaining the pole, has been able to maneuver his way through every wreck, and is now inside the top 10. So keep an eye out for that 69 car as we are once again back under the green flag. Daniel Martinez leads him into turn 1.
Yeah, I saw a great quote about Colin Bowden. I forget who said this, but if the driver's watching and wants to take credit for it, let me know, and I'm happy to shout you out. But basically, we call Colin Bowden aggressive here because not because he is actually aggressive, but because he makes moves, I think, that many other drivers in this league are just afraid to be making. But he makes them in such an effective way that I mean, it works, and we call it aggressive, but it's such a functional way of driving, and he knows how to cut through the field, and you see that here tonight. We've seen that at Daytona in the past. Colin Bowden right now looking like he's about to slot up into the 4th position up top. Meanwhile, Ethan Burrell takes over the lead finally from Daniel Martinez.
Yeah, Martinez had an issue there exiting turn number 2. The 37 was able to capitalize, but take a look downstairs. It comes in the form of the 40 car. Tyler Fode doing all he can to use that.
Ethan Burrell loose off of turn number 2.
The 40 car goes around. He's off the racing surface, but the yellow flag does come out after contact for our leaders. Ethan Burrell got loose out of turn 2. Tyler Fode went around. Thankfully, that car did not hit anything else.
Yeah, you just see loose off of 2 for Ethan Burrell, our leader, and Tyler Fode, kind of an innocent bystander in that whole situation. Man, oh man, oh man.
Fighting for the spot going wrong here tonight.
I mean, there's just, what can you do at this point? These drivers have their hands full, and they need to just start figuring out how do you manage this race car? The problem is that you can't back off because you know somebody's going to push ahead. And the problem is with the cautions that keep coming out is track position is going to be so important because you have to maintain that on all of these restarts. Tyler Fode, yeah, nowhere to go there. Just loose up top for Ethan Burrell. And Tyler Fode taken out on that one as we get to our 4th caution flag of the night. 5th. Fifth if you start. Is that including the start caution?
Oh, you know what? I think that
caution number 5. Yeah. There we go. Either way, this is absolutely crazy right now.
And you know what worked for Ethan Burrell? That very first lap, he got the lead because Daniel Martinez got loose in that similar fashion. As we now see the field about to take advantage of this yellow flag here, get some fuel on it.
Yeah, so finally at this point, if you're one of these leaders, you're thinking, all right, it's time to finally come down pit road, at least get some fresh tires. I mean, not that these guys have really burned through much of the rubber here or probably much fuel, but at least get yourself in a position on pit strategy where you feel more comfortable. Colin Bowden and Andrew Rucker, though, both deciding to stay out on the racetrack. Rucker has been down pit road, but Bowden and Goodman, the two drivers now left who have not visited pit road quite yet this race. So those guys will both start inside the top 4. We'll see how that plays out for them. But yeah, Colin Bowden, who qualified on the pole, then got the end-of-line penalty to start at the back of the pack, is now back up front here on lap 22 after all these cautions.
My main concern, though, once we have kind of a split strategy here, is the fact that you do have people on newer tires going to be charging through the field in the back half of the field, and we just have not seen the back half of the field be nice to anybody all night long. We haven't seen basically any position be safe here tonight. We've had issues in the back of the pack. We've had issues up front. It has just been an issue-filled night for a lot of these guys. The Memory Lanes 200 proving to be a memorable one so far.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Man, I just don't even know at this point in terms of what we can do to get these guys just pointed in the right direction and running properly. We just need to get laps in here. But you did mention it. Memory Lane's giving us a memorable Michigan 200 here, and I mean, shout out to Memory Lanes. This race was unsponsored this morning, then came on board at the very last minute. But Memory Lanes, they're in the heart of Athens, Wisconsin. They're a historic building with a modern day touch. It's a place where young and old people come together, and what truly gives Memory Lanes its character, though, is its owner and operator, Randy. It's a bowling alley up in Athens, Wisconsin. Been a sponsor here of the Elite Racing League and of races here for a few seasons now, and massively thankful for them for coming on board here at the last second to give us a race sponsor here for tonight.
We're so glad to have them on board here. The 69 of Colin Bowden going to lead the field with Andrew Rucker on the outside. You see in that third position there, Trevor Elam, says 29 on the number board, but he's actually running that 6 car. That's a familiar paint scheme. I know some drivers that are probably not too happy with that paint scheme there. There's some fans that are probably not too happy with that paint scheme as well. But
yeah,
it's pretty sharp. In my unbiased opinion, it's one of the best paint schemes out there. However, I probably shouldn't say that, so there are a lot of people probably looking for my number.
Yeah, that's definitely not a popular paint scheme right now, and I mean, similar to I was gonna say who was it who was running that last time around? Was that Cody Harrington? No, I'm trying to remember who was running. Was it Robin who's been running that? I think it is Josh Robin who's been running it somewhere. Yeah, there it is. Yep. That Violet Defense paint scheme there. Same thing from RFK Racing, but yeah, pace car still leading the pack
on
here.
Track. Yeah, we had an issue. I saw, I believe it was just doing the 32. He was flipping right on the outside of these guys, so don't know. Race Control saw something that they did not like and going to try and get the field back in tow. We are just next time around will be 1/4 race of the distance here, but I mean, 1/4 of the field has also been involved, and if we're going by ratios here, that's not a good look for lap 100.
Yeah, I was gonna say we could be seeing a situation where I don't know if you remember last year's what was it? The Darlington. Last year's Darlington, where the car that won that, I don't believe had a front end on it. It was Tyler Fody, I think, who was victorious there.
Was involved in an issue that night. There was no competitor that had a clean car at the end of that one.
Yeah, that one was something else. We're hoping that we don't have a repeat of a situation there, especially in a shorter race like this. You wouldn't expect that, but right now these guys are really struggling with this Michigan International Speedway.
They really, really are, and I just don't think that's taken us by surprise. It's definitely taken the drivers by surprise. This new next-gen package here, kind of throwing these guys a little bit for a loop here. A lot to be learned. I have no doubt that we will get to that point, but when one driver has a mistake, will it be magnified by where they are running on track?
Yeah, exactly. It's the last thing you want to see is a top driver having a mistake like that because of how tight we are on these restarts and how many cars get involved here. But we're going to go back to green flag racing here. Colin Bowden going to lead this field to green. as the 32 car does get an end-of-line penalty because of that blinking that you mentioned earlier, that I believe also waved off this last restart. But here you go, Trevor Elam to the inside of Andrew Rucker for the second position. And let's see, guys, a little bit more spread out here. Actually, as I say that, I go back here, and we've got them 3 wide coming off of turn 2.
Yeah, and keep in mind, some of these drivers in the back of the pack have better tires there, didn't get a chance to see what the cutoff point was. But there are going to be some guys charging through the field against guys who have been on track all night long and against some damaged race cars as well. See Jeff Green slide right in front of third quest in that 02 there. Here comes the 25. Look at that brightly colored number. Red 25 there in front of Scott Crump. Those numbers are actually kind of hard to read right there, but I like the color on that.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's a very aggressive-looking car, that black and red, and especially that chrome red there on the Jacob Adams number 25. Side-by-side with Jeff Green, and you can see that right front damage on the 38 car from making contact with the wall out of 4. I think he was also involved in a wreck earlier on in this event, so already a rough start for Jeff Green. But right now, these guys running side-by-side through turns 3 and 4, just trying to get a handle on these cars, and you can still see them chasing the cars up the racetrack, just trying to get a handle on what they have underneath them. Some of them doing it a little bit better than others, and some of them really seem to be struggling right now to just stay in touch with these race cars. Back towards the front here, Trevor Elam back in touch with Colin Bowden. He just set the fastest lap of the race, and Elam now going to try and see if he can tackle that 69 car, but has to defend from Rucker and Jared Rexing right behind him. 4-car breakaway up front.
Yes, those Ford Mustangs looking pretty racy here so far. Elam doing all he can. Keep that 64 car, who looks like he might have a little bit of nose damage on that machine. No harm, no foul, as Elam takes a look to the inside. This is well over 200 miles an hour, and our third consecutive green flag lap about to take place here. Will it also take place with a lead change? He takes a look to the inside, goes downstairs. Colin Bona going to hold him tight on exit. This has been a trouble spot. Can the 69 car keep it out of the wall and out of another competitor? He does so. Have some drafting help from the 64 of Andrew Rucker and Jared Rexing. Wow, Elam, from one portion of the racetrack to another, has lost 2 spots. Looked like he was Superman trying to take the lead, but let's talk about that here, Rashov. How you're going to want to time your draft and getting that run here, because if you do not make that pass, you're going to go back in a hurry.
Absolutely. That side draft so powerful down the back straightaway. And here we're going to see now Andrew Rucker try what Elam tried just 1 lap ago, and that's going to the inside of Colin Bowden. The problem is you need to be there. You really, I think, need to be about half a car length ahead of Bowden mid-turns 1 and 2 to even have a chance, because on that outside lane, the run is just so strong, and you're going to see the exact same situation here for Andrew Rucker as the 90 car with a warning there. Not sure what that's for, whether that's for blinking issues. Yeah.
I did see that 90 car blinking there right in front of Gerald Campbell there. He's running along in the 6th position, but if that does not remedy itself, that 90 car might be going to the back. Taking a look at a battle as the yellow flag is out once again, the 6th one of the night.
Looks like it's going to be the 12 car involved in another one. Vincent Isabella.
Daniel Martinez. And Matthew Weeks, last week's winner, goes around on the front stretch.
Yeah, here we go. So, the 12 car looks like contact between the 12 and the 33. That kind of kicks it all off. If that's, we'll take a look at that again. See, is that net code? How does this all kind of get rolling here? 12 versus
drivers coming from that pit stop there. Daniel Martinez was our first one on pit road. Vincent Isabella, one of those drivers that elected to stay out. You see
contact
damage already
mid-corner
on the outside right there. Oh, yeah. But, the 12 did slow down by the time the 33 got there. And that a touch in the wrong direction. Matthew Weeks was nowhere to go. He's going to come down. He collects the 84 car of Wyatt Canadal, who goes around here.
Tyler Fody, Ethan Burrell involved in that too. Josh Clark almost misses it. Gets involved in that 28 car. Unfortunate for him. Once again, Zach Evans, that 6 car, going to slide right through the wreckage. But there it is. Yeah, Matthew Weeks, your race winner from last week, gets through. There's the 87 of Richard Hines, avoids the wreckage. A lot of these other guys avoiding it, but it all kicks off with that 33 and 12 car coming together on the racetrack, coming off of turn number 4.
You know, with Joshua Clark, that 28 car, how he hit Wyatt Canadal in that 84 car, I think that actually saves Wyatt from suffering more damage than he has, because he was going to hit that car pretty hard, but it looks like the 33 car is going to be found at fault.
Yep, there you go, and
the eventual pole setter there was an issue.
Yeah, eventually, yeah. So, not really what Daniel Martinez wanted to see. He had that great start to the race and kind of fallen apart a little bit there. Meanwhile, watching there, Colin Bowden finally hits pit road, as does, I believe, let's take a look, Michael Goodman as well on pit road there. So everybody has now come down and serviced their cars, whether it's for damage or repairs or just tires in general. But that gives Jared Rexing the lead back. Bronson Stafford moves up to second. Josh Robin up into third. So a bit of a new group right now up front. Ethan Burrell, kind of the first of those people from earlier in the race, at least, that are back up here. Dallas Myhan, Jesse Razimus, all inside the top 7. Chad Thornquist rounding out that top 8. Incident with the 12 and 90 car, they might have come together as well. Under review.
Interesting to see. That was netcode. Is that under caution, or is that during green flag conditions there?
Yeah, so I mean, let's follow this. So there's the incident with the 12 car.
Telephony though was a big part of that. Some nose damage on the 40 car.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with this 12 and if he gets into the 90 at all, gets back out on the racetrack. Might be following him for a few moments here with this 12, but this is Vincent Isabella in the 12 car. We'll see. He should at some point meet back up with the 90 car out on the racetrack. Caution flag out. This was the incident that brought out this most recent caution.
The all-seeing eye sees all.
Yeah, I was gonna say you cannot hide from the drone camera. It is everywhere here at Michigan. So we'll see exactly what brought out that investigation. I'm very curious here. Because the 12 car, I don't think the 90 car was at all involved in that incident either. So it's not like there was a retaliation effect from either of those cars. I wouldn't imagine. But
they go down pit road here.
Yeah,
I thought the 90, he's inside. He was at the time of the caution inside the top 10. We had mentioned, already documented that blinking issue that he had.
Yeah, this is a strange one here. Don't want to keep following this. We could potentially fast forward it here, so we'll keep following this 12 car. I'm curious.
I've not mentioned anything. You see the 11 car Matthew Weeks with the hood gone out of that car. It's going to be much tougher for him to get to victory lane here tonight.
Yeah,
14 Hunter Smith.
Don't see anything here, though. Apparently, it might have been an invisible issue. Excuse me, there, where the 90 car hit the 12 while the 90 was invisible. So we might not actually see any kind of damage here or any kind of incident that actually occurs. So, kind of strange there. But
the all-seeing eye does not see all when you're blinking.
Yeah, I was gonna say when you have an invisible driver, I suppose that that's the way to avoid it. So just a key for anybody who's interested. But we're gonna go back to green flag racing, and it's gonna be Jared Rexing as no tally is issued there for the 90 car, no penalty issued. So Jared Rexing though gonna lead this field back to green ahead of Josh Robin and Bronson Stafford. Ethan Burrell following on the bottom lane. You've got Josh Adams on that top lane as they're side-by-side for second.
Yes, teammates there looking to battle one another. As Jared Rexing gets out to a sizable lead. So Ethan Burrell in the 95. How about Joshua Adams? I haven't mentioned his name here so far tonight. Doing a great job. The 69 combo. Oh, Adams though with a bobble in the middle of the corner. Here goes the 69 to change lane. Thankfully, the 07 car was able to allow that move to happen. Shooting though to a third quest. That was some heads-up driving once the 95 car bobbled right in front of the 69 car. No harm, no foul for these drivers. We stay under the green flag.
Yeah, good heads-up driving by these guys. Just need to be aware of what's going on all around you. There's going to be checkups. There's going to be guys moving all over the place. Jared Rexing leads Josh Robin. Those guys kind of separated up front, so now it's Bronson Stafford as he gets a bit of a push here from Colin Bowden ahead of Ethan Burrell. Damage on two of those cars there, the 61 as well as the 37, and Stafford going to be a little bit loose up through the corner here. Thornquist going to try and see if he can get out of the way, but stuck a little bit behind that 61 car right now. Again, drivers just need to be patient here. We'll get underway, but yeah, how about this? Colin Bowden moving back up front, or at least up to second position here, chasing down Jared Rexing after having just come down pit road. So that 69 car looking really strong tonight. We'll see if he can keep up this pace here as we run lap 36 of 100.
I definitely believe so there. He was able to get 4 brand new tires on that car. Don't know when the last time Jared Rexing was on pit road. Big gap, though, between first and second. Oh, contact the 61 in front of the 95. They're 3 wide suddenly out of the corner. Everybody somehow manages to get through, but Bronson Stafford with a big moment. Everybody has to get by.
Yeah, so Stafford there, yeah, a little bit of a mistake. Gonna fall back, tons of momentum loss, and you can see he kind of is still falling back down the order around the outside. Michael Goodman, also that 26 Dallas Myhan alongside Trevor Elam, those guys going side by side there. That always makes me sketched out as side by side, and these cars here at Michigan seems to just be a recipe for disaster, but they're making it work right now. They're doing a good job here at keeping these cars out on the racetrack. So the 44 car goes way up the racetrack. Michael Goodman, though, hangs on to it, keeps it pointed in the right direction.
Yeah, I had to chase it fairly big up the hill, gathers it up. That was a battle for 14th just behind these guys there. They're also double wide action mid-pack. You see that is led by the 6th car of Zach Evans. You see Johnny Thomas, last year's defending Daytona 500 champion, taking a look to the inside, and he has help from the 83 car. There's a little bit of a gap between 14th and 15th place right now.
Yeah.
As the 69 has now been able to wrestle the lead away from the 10 car, it was really no challenge.
Yeah, Colin Bowden right now just seems to be on another level in terms of just overall pace. As there you go, yellow flag comes out. Who is going to be the cause of this one? Looks like it might have been...
Caution number 7 on the speedway.
Oh, there's something that happens ahead there. Who was that? That might have been...
I believe the 8 car.
Yeah. Josh
Robin, who had been up front. He saw the 6. His teammate had to take a wild ride through the grass to avoid him. Trevor Elam.
Yeah, not sure if those guys actually are teammates. Could just be a situation where they're running the same. They're just running the same Brad Keselowski scheme. But yeah, loose there. Very close to coming across there on the 02 car of Thornquist. But yeah, around goes the 8 car. Looks like just a self-spin situation. A couple of cars have to avoid it, but nobody else really involved. That 33, though, goes for a ride on the grass.
A couple of cars got some air there as they had to avoid that issue.
Yeah, but for the most part, looks like they're all in the clear.
Working lap 40 here. Oh, my goodness. We expected some good, clean racing here at Michigan. I don't think this was on anybody's mind here tonight, Dermashov, unfortunately.
Yeah, this was definitely not the plan for I think what we were expecting here. Again, I come to Michigan. I normally expect some good hard racing here. And again, I don't think we've seen this many cautions in the past. At this track, I'd have to go back and actually take a look at official results, but I don't think this has historically been a very caution-friendly track. Yeah, I was gonna say last time we were here, so last season, 2021B, just 5 cautions for 15 laps. We have well exceeded that number. We haven't even reached the halfway point. Going back a few more seasons there to 2020B. We'll take a look here. This was the one that Matthew Weeks won. That one, 4 cautions, 12 laps. So again, it's not often that we have cautions at this particular racetrack.
Oh, not at all. So that number of yellow flags going up is going to give us a chance to probably take a break. So we'll leave you with some live pictures here, but I got to get water there, Rashov. It's going to be a long night.
Yeah, quite a long way to go. We'll step away for just a moment.
Welcome back to the Memory Lanes 200 live from virtual Michigan International Speedway. It has been yellow fever as of late. Have not seen a long green flag run here. Almost on track to double the number of cautions we had at this very same event just 1 season ago here for 2021 Season B. Colin Bowden, though, has been able to navigate through all the carnage. He is your leader as we get back under the green flag here. Chad Thurnquist and Gerald Campbell, your top three. They're side by side once again under the green flag, but do I dare say, for how long?
Yeah, exactly. For how long? Can we make it to the halfway point at least here? I'd love to see actually, and maybe we can get a call from Dave who can take a look at it. But what is the longest green flag run we've actually gotten tonight? Because man, oh man, it has not felt like we've gotten more than maybe 5 or 6 laps at a time under green flag conditions. And yeah, this car's just been a handful for drivers. But yeah, as we kick back off here, Bowden, Thornquist, Campbell, your top three. They're keeping guys relatively single-filed right now, and that's probably a good thing here if we want to get some green flag running in.
Yes, right now we've had a number of issues as Jeff Green gets loose in the center of the corner right there. He's in the 33 who bounces it into the wall. Everyone taking evasive action, some of them going below that white line there to avoid an ailing 38 car who gathers it up. Daniel Martinez was the victim right there. They're side by side in the 61, roughing up Trevor Elon in the middle of the corner.
Yeah, they all keep it pointed in the right direction, so we stay green here for now. But man, this car is just an absolute handful for these guys, and nobody seems. What's crazy to me is that we've had a chance to practice with these cars. There hasn't been a major update to them this past week either. So same package in theory to what they were racing in Pocono, but just something about this combination just seems to have these guys so stumped. And we're seeing this time and time again, but nobody comfortable at all here out at Michigan. And I, even if you're way ahead in the lead, I'd not be comfortable because you don't know when that mistake is going to come.
Exactly. We just saw one out of the 64 car who's running along in the 3rd position as the yellow flag number 8 flies. Once again, we are failed to get to consecutive green flag laps, or at least double-digit green flag laps here tonight. That might be the name of the game.
Yeah, that would be the goal here. If we can do those consecutively, that would be pretty impressive from what we've seen so far. But I'm gonna stay positive maybe about that, as we do have a caution. So maybe I shouldn't be positive about that. Yeah, let's take a look here. It's gonna be, looks like Cody Harrington, Hunter Smith came together. Harrington, that 66 car up against that top wall, gonna come down the racetrack. Hunter Smith got caught up in an incident earlier on in this event, gets caught up in another one.
That's actually his 3rd one of the day.
Ugh.
And I don't believe any of them have been his fault there as well. So just wrong place, wrong time for the 14 car and the 66 who got loose in front of him.
There you see that 66, and just, nowhere to go if you're Hunter Smith. Unfortunate.
Racing, not going to be a good night at all.
Yeah, not at all. Hunter Smith has not had great luck to get this season started at all, really. So it's been tough there for that 14 car. 66 car at fault. That totally makes sense there. He was the one who up in the wall kind of came back down on the racetrack. But yeah, I mean, just nothing. These drivers have nothing for these cars right now in this racetrack.
Kind of at a loss for words there, Rashaf here. I can't tell you how many tallies have been issued. I would dare say that's going to be a record here tonight too.
Yeah, exactly. This is a new rule, and we're already looking at breaking records here in terms of tallies issued to drivers. So, yeah, this could be interesting. Of course, cautions do give us opportunities, though, to pay the bills here. So we're not going to miss those opportunities, as they've been fairly abundant. But of course, we mentioned memory lanes. We've of course talked about one of our premier sponsors here at the Elite Racing League. But let's mention the other two, starting with Blue Egg Marketing. They're the marketing department for small businesses. So if you're a small business owner, Blue Egg Marketing is going to be your biggest fan. They are your marketing department. Whatever your constraints are, they help catalyze creativity, and they'll help you punch above your weight class. Powerhouse Recycling also on board with us for the first time this season in 2022B. They strive to offer the highest level of customer service in the industry for each recycling load process, time and time again. Attainable account representatives, prompt and on-time pickups, and customized recycling solutions keep Powerhouse Recycling as a North Carolina market leader in customer service. Proud to have them on board, as well as C2 Freight Resources, Blue Egg Marketing, 3 great premier sponsors here at the Elite Racing Leagues, and they keep everything rolling here. They keep the broadcasts funded. They keep our racetracks. They keep our race series rolling. They make sure that there is a purse as well for all these drivers to be able to earn money as well for their performances out on the racetrack. So great to have the premier sponsors. Great to have our race sponsors, of course, JoinAPS as well, who sponsors our Cup Series. All of these guys make the Elite Racing Leagues what it is today. Unfortunately today, though, not one of the better days, I think, for the Elite Racing Leagues in terms of the certainly. Yeah, it's been just absolutely hectic. And just, yeah, everybody, I mean, who hasn't been involved in one at this point? That's kind of been the situation as lights are out on the pace car. We're going to go back to green, and hopefully we'll be green as we tick over to the halfway point in this race. But we should be further in this event. We should have had more green flag running. We really I would have loved to see strategy play out. We were talking in that last break there. What does the fuel window look like? It's unlikely that we're really going to ever get a chance to see that.
Yeah, that's just been unfortunate. It's just something that we just don't expect from this series. I think the last time we kind of had a race like this, I remember New Hampshire. Loudon had a lot of yellow flags there last season. So, but this is just a new car. It's a growing pains for a lot of these drivers here. So they're going to be moments like this that they're going to stink, but these drivers are going to learn, and I have the most faith that we will see some green flag racing, hopefully, to end this. But right now, a lot left to be desired here. Turn 3 has just taken so many cars, so many victims here tonight in that section of the speedway.
Yeah, so many cars involved, and back-to-back weeks here with a lot of cautions. This new next-gen car really seems to be a challenge here, and obviously that's good in the respect that it's going to challenge the drivers, but we want to see some more green flag racing, and hopefully maybe we can get a start of a nice green flag run here as we do head back to green. 3 wide down the front straightaway here. That's not really conducive to green flag racing, but hey, we'll see how it is as Jared Rexing slides up into second position. A big jump there for that 10 car.
Trying to get all he can, when he can, and when it could count the most. You never know when that yellow flag is going to fly next. Right now, Chad Thirdquest, who just before that yellow flag came out, was actually able to run down our leader, Colin Bowden. You see him take over the second position away from Jared Rexing right there. Colin Bowden's trying to get away, but it is a hornet's nest from 6th place on back. You see Ethan Burrell all the way downstairs through the front stretch there. He'll cross lanes, trying to block and advance in that outside lane before once again double wide action behind him.
Yeah, you saw them briefly 3 wide, but they'll get back to 2 wide just through here. And I will say, when we get green flag runs at Michigan, it's such an intriguing track because you can run so many different lines, and I think we see guys trying different things out, running that bottom lane, trying to take the shorter way around the track, or really letting the car kind of roll around that top lane. And then really just fanning out all the way in between. So there's so many options. Ooh, car gets loose there. That's the 61 of Stafford, loose off of turn number 4. Scott Crump going to start moving to the inside ahead of him. But yeah, I mean that's kind of the situation here. It does allow for great racing when we get under green, and we're seeing that here. Chad Thornquist challenging Colin Bowden for the lead. Thornquist though a little bit loose off of turn number 2. That's going to hurt his run down this back straightaway.
Yep. Oh, yellow flag number 9 is out just as we had passed halfway.
Oh, and it's on that car that we were.
We're going to get well.
Yeah, we were just
that 61 car.
We were just watching Bronson Stafford earlier. Gets Dustin Durer involved in that. Oh, a huge hit. Oh. Who was that?
Upside
that was
down.
Gerald Campbell, I think.
One competitor.
Let's take a look here. So that's going to be Zach Evans. Going to have to check, or no, he spins it out himself. Maybe checking up for that, but hits Andrew Rucker, who was also involved in that. Daniel Martinez.
Rucker had been inside the top 3 for a good portion of the night, but you're right, it's Gerald Campbell. Heavy hit on pavement. Goes flipping wildly on the backstretch here to bring out, I believe, what will be our 10th caution flag of the night. Rusty Capel, Talafoti get through it.
Oh,
no, they don't.
Nope.
Jeff Reed tags Talafoti, who then hits the outside wall. So this might be the biggest incident of the night here. Brought on by that 61 car.
Officially involved in that one, according to Timing and Scoring, Bronson Stafford, Zach Evans, Daniel Martinez, Gerald Campbell, Andrew Rucker, Tyler Foti, Jeff Green. If there's a big one at Michigan, that was it right there.
Gerald Campbell playing the unfortunate star in that movie.
And if you're Bronson Stafford, unfortunately, this is what kicks it all off. Just gets loose in turn 2. And then for everybody else, it's tough to avoid when they're all packed this close together. And there you see just the chaos that ensues after the fact.
Gerald Campbell tumbling over there kind of reminds me, Elliott Sadler had a wreck like that. Wood Brothers machine tumbling end over end. Very reminiscent of that crash.
Yeah, 61
car.
Caution
number 9. I was ahead of myself there tonight. But don't worry, folks. We'll get there.
Yeah, says 61 car. It's day over for Bronson Stafford. Been involved in a few, but the second time he's been deemed at fault, so he gets parked for the night.
Yeah, and I believe that just handling issues on that car. It had no rear clip on the back. I don't know. I've not driven one of these next-gen cars, but I can't imagine it's any easier once the back has been knocked off, and it had been on that 61 car right before he found trouble out of turn 2. Not a place we've seen trouble all night long, but when it broke out in a big way. Take a look at the cars running on the racetrack there. Number of cars you see in your screen 7, about half of them all with damage, and I believe all of them, maybe with the exception of the 91 of Johnny Thomas, have been involved in an issue.
Yeah, I mean, Johnny Thomas, that 91 car actually looks like it's in fairly good nick. One of the few cars where you could probably say that. Don't really see anything major on that car, so we'll see how he continues to roll. Trevor Elam, a little bit of damage to that front right there. We saw he was involved in an incident earlier in the day. Ethan Brell, we saw, was involved in a couple of incidents. Colin Bowden, I will say, also another clean car there. I think Chad Thornquist as well was a fairly clean race car. Adams, I think some damage. Rexing might be another clean race car, but yeah, it's probably... the number of clean race cars is you could probably count on maybe just 2 hands, but maybe even just 1 hand there. It's not a lot.
Yeah, not at all there. We still see some blinking issues out of the 90th Scott Crump. And just as things were getting good between Thornquist and R.C. Anderson there, the yellow flag did come out. Ethan Burrell's been able to remedy or rebound from that earlier issue that he had with Talafoti. You see some damage to the right rear quarter panel of that car. Looks like Trevor Elam as well, we had documented, had went through the field there, got some height in that 6 car on the front stretch earlier tonight.
Oh man, it's been something else here. But 2x2, they're going to line up once again. How many times have we seen this down the back straightaway? And we'll give it one. We'll give it one more shot. We'll continue to go at it here. Yeah, we'll take a look. Hopefully, I say this and I never learn. That's on me. But I keep hoping that after we get this many cautions, guys start to take it a little bit easier and they start to realize, all right, let's push a little bit less and just try and survive this race, but there's always somebody.
There's 43 drivers here starting tonight. This is the fastest speedway we go to in the Cup Series here, and it has been a handful for everyone here tonight.
Maybe not tonight.
Really slow through the restart zone as cars beginning to fan out 2 and 3 wide action. That's going to jumble up the start here as the yellow's already back out.
Number 10.
Told you we were going to get there.
Yeah, so let's take a look here.
This was really slow, but they had been able to get through, but no.
Oh, it's the blinking 90 car.
And yes, that might be another tally on the 90 car who We've already seen one driver sent home because of it. If that was indeed a blinking issue from the 90 car, I don't know if he received a tally there. He was given a warning. But you're right. That does start there. That coupled with the fact it was a really, really slow restart by Trevor Elam that really got the field all together.
And there's that invisible car.
1 second, he's not.
Yeah. Can't do much, and you're
Shane in the 83 car comes to a dead stop on the end of the pit road right there.
Yeah, Rusty Capel gets caught up in that as Vincent Isabella goes around. Jeff Green involved in that. Cody Harrington in the 66. I mean, so many good cars. Yeah, that one's interesting. That one, not even a particular driver at fault. That's purely a situation, I think, where that net code, not net code, but that blinking from the 90 car. Unfortunately, you can't have that on these restarts with the way these drivers are struggling anyways. We'll see what race control says. They might, and through no fault of Scott Crumps, but they might need to park that car just due to technical issues. At least have it start at the back of the pack, because that you can't be having that on a restart like that.
Yeah, that just magnified that problem exponentially there, unfortunately. So we're going to see Trevor Elam and Jared Rexing take the restart here through the green flag. But, Rashav, it's been a long one. But
no tally there, yeah. So, I mean, yeah, it's not on the 90 car. I think the way the tallies work is their fault. And so you can't put that on the 90, the driver of the 90 car, because at the end of the day, he didn't do anything wrong. That's an internet service issue. Obviously, that's something that you'd like to see fixed, but it's been a known issue with that 90 car for a long time. I don't know if they're going to make a decision to put that 90 car at the back of the field so that we have a cleaner restart this next time by, but right now you see there Scott Crump still very much in the pack. They might be giving him another shot here, though that blinking, we've seen it can get dangerous, and it's already been a sketchy night tonight in terms of the way cars have been behaving, and when you have a car that's suddenly on and off the track, sometimes that can get, pretty sketchy for other drivers.
So costed number 10 here, just 3 laps shy of working lap number 60. Going to need to save our voice here, so we're going to go pause. We'll bring you back to the restart here tonight. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Memory Lane 200 on the Elite Racing Network.
Yep, so running lap 57, going to tick over to lap 58 of 100. Unfortunately, I don't know exactly the number of green flag laps we've had tonight, but it hasn't been too many. So for those of you who are sticking around and watching, we appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, comment any chance this becomes a timed race. I'm pretty sure we're a long way away from that timing limit. I'd have to double check, and maybe that would be a question I have for Dave Huck, who's helping us run things down in race control, if he could shoot us a message and let us know what the timing is on this race, though I think we're still a long way from hitting that. My guess is about 2.5 hours.
Yeah, it's definitely been. I just don't think we saw this night coming at all like this here.
Yeah, it's been something. We're only about an hour into this race itself, maybe a little bit more so. But lap 58 of 100, we're going to take over to lap 59 when we go back to green flag racing. Hopefully, we're going to. It's a 3-hour limit, and we're only an hour into this, so we're definitely getting these 100 laps in here, guys. Yeah. So yeah. I think even if we're yellow the entire way around.
How many cars will we have left at that over under 30? Unfortunately, we've seen a lot of heavy hitters out as well. David Tooker, Nick Massey, Tate Lytle. Just a lot of good cars there out of tonight's race here as well. However, when we have a race like that opens up the field for a surprise winner, perhaps, somebody that could survive here tonight, that's got to be on the minds. A lot of these drivers just Barry getting that arm a workout with the green flag. We like to see that. It's the yellow flag we have an issue with. Trevor Elam leads them down into turn number 1. You see Colin Bowden as we ride on board from the blimp screen. Jared Rexing to the outside.
Ooh, Bowden almost
Really
loses it, but a
loose.
good save.
Yes, both cars actually got loose right there. Jared Rexing, though, going to try and give the business to the back of the 6 car. He goes to the outside lane.
Nothing quite there.
We've seen the battle really has been between Rexing and Bowden all night long, and put in third quest as well. Further back, though, side by side, that's Scott Crump on the inside of the 50 of R.C. Anderson.
Yep, Josh Adams, Scott Crump then side by side as they were 3 wide briefly down the front straightaway. They're 2 wide now. Meanwhile, back up front, it is still Trevor Elam, Colin Bowden looking to try and get by here as Jared Rexing into third position. Let's see this outside lane here pass from Colin Bowden. Will this be effective? Can the 29 car, or the 69 car, excuse me, get around Trevor Elam up towards the wall for Bowden, but toes that line nicely, and he's going to have some help here from the 10 car. They're going to go 3 wide as the 10 now dives to the bottom to try and take over the lead from Bowden.
I was going to say, or does he? The 10 car wants that lead himself. He's going to be really aggressive about it, kind of push that 69 car up the racetrack. But we've seen that 10 car get loose right at that section of the speedway. He's able to gather it up and hang on this time around. Still side by side for the lead. Not going to let that 69 car out of his sights just yet. They're on the inside.
Oh,
but the
they make contact.
They gather it up, though.
Oh.
Big wobble out of the 10. He has to walk it up the track. The 0-2 goes around. Major positions lost for the 10 of Jared Rexing, but thankfully, he still has a race car to contend with.
Yeah, that right there should be a lesson to everybody behind in how to save a race car as it tracks up the racetrack. Don't overcorrect like a lot of these other guys have been doing here. Jared Rexing lost some positions, but right now saved his race car overall. Doesn't get involved in a big one, and can fight to live and can live to fight another day. Excuse me. And he's going to try and work his way back up the order. Meanwhile, it's Trevor Elam now chasing down Colin Bowden, who separated himself a little bit, about 0.6 of a second up the road for Bowden.
You see Dallas Myhan travel up the racetrack just in front of these guys.
Yeah.
Thankfully, everyone's able to get around him as well.
Yeah, a little bit of chaos here as they're back to 2x2, almost like a super speedway here. Heading into turn number 1, it's going to be Johnny Thomas leading this group of cars. Oh my gosh, they're almost 3 wide here coming off of turn 2. That's not going to be a good case. Rexing.
Almost gets turned by Rexing right there. And Tim, one of those not open drivers, excuse me, but one of the last chance qualifiers that we were riding on board before to start this broadcast has been able to work his way through the field, had to start deep in this pack, now battling Rexing inside the top 10, so it's been a good day. That car looks pretty clean. Wow, Rexing slices to the inside, trying to take it away from R.C. Anderson just ahead of him, and he will do so there as they enter turn 1.
Yeah, Rexing has been making some of the most decisive moves we've been seeing tonight here. We've seen he's been one of the most aggressive on restarts, diving to the inside, going for it. Rexing feels, I think, that he has a car to win this race, and he doesn't want to waste this opportunity because you can't in this JoinAPS Cup Series. You saw he walked it up the line there a little bit. He overcooked a little bit earlier on in the race, but with green flag runs, he can start to close that gap back up, and he is back to the lead of this second group. Now has some chasing to do, though, to move up here as guys racing well right now. Tyler Fody in that super damaged 40 car now leading this pack here on that inside lane.
Working toward our longest green flag run of the night. It's a 4-car breakaway at the front of the field, but this battle, 5th place on back, will not quit. You see Tyler Fody, who has been heavily damaged so far, off the nose of Ethan Burrell, who now takes a look to the inside of him, thinks better of it. Ethan Burrell cuts to the outside there. He'll push Tim Bourne and has some traffic assistance from that 26 car. Dallas Mayan, 40, losing a lot of positions that time by. Battle for the lead. It's third quest, the 0-2 car, trying to get around the 69.
Yeah, Thornquist side by side with the 69 through 3 and 4, but that outside lane for the 69 off of turn number 4, working wonders for him, gives him a good run, but doesn't separate him from the 0-2. Let's see. Side by side is caution.
Number 11. I cannot tell you how many times this has happened with the 0-2 in second place. Scott Haney in the 3 car here looks to be the star of this one.
Ooh. Misses a car there. Anybody else gets caught up in that? Ooh. It might have been Wyatt Canadle there at the bottom, I think, who had to try and avoid the 3 car. As there he was. I don't know. He might have just been loose in general himself as he gets around. Oh, and collects the 44. And I think that was Gerald Campbell in the 31.
I'm surprised Campbell was still able to carry on. But yes, Wyatt Canado, the second incident he has had, and Gerald Campbell backwards on the front stretch. This car has been in every direction tonight. Upside down, backwards. It's just been a day, night, however you want to call it. Something to forget for that 31 car.
Yeah, Gerald Campbell, man, that 31 car. Yeah, that one's definitely being written off here. That chassis is being written off here at the end of this one. That's for sure. There's no reusing that body or any component from that car, I'm sure. But man, oh man, just craziness there. You saw it was just a self-spin there from Scott Haney. You hate to see it, especially the self-spins being the situation. I get it when it's too wide and guys maybe just get a little bit tight with each other. But, I mean, those single-car incidents, that's hard to justify here, especially considering some of the stuff we've seen already tonight. Guys need to be better than that, I think.
I'm telling you, the person that probably hates every time that caution flag comes out is that 02 car, because he has been right on the back bumper, about to make the pass as he makes a late decision to go on pit road. He does make the commitment cone.
So, Bowden
is going to try and put himself on the opposite end of pit road strategy here from his closest competitor, that 69 car.
Yeah, that's Bowden and Burrell then stay out on the racetrack. They both last came down pit road, lap 52, 56. Impossible for us to really tell in terms of fuel window because we don't know how much they're able to save on caution flags and caution laps, things like that. I don't know at this point. It's a completely up in the air. My guess is guys who are coming down pit road right here, like Thornquist, like Adams, these guys are going to be set to go to the end, even if we have a green flag run to the end of this race. I doubt we will, but they should be good to go, I think, for the rest of this race.
We'll have fresher tires there than the competitors ahead by a significant portion of laps. I believe just before we got that yellow flag, that might have been our longest run of green flag racing there, Rashov. It was definitely shaping up to be it.
I think we might have hit the longest green flag run there. It felt like it. Maybe 5 or 6 laps there. That was impressive. But man, it's been a rough night. Oh,
the 8 car there actually really low on the racetrack before now, traveling in the frame right there.
Yeah, not sure what's happening there with Josh Robin in the 8 car. That's a car that is, I think it's multiple laps down. Was way up to the top of the racetrack and now is going to dive to pit road. So that's going to let a few of these drivers back by. So Bowden and Burrell out on slightly older tires. Thornquist, Adams, Elam, Thomas, Bourne, all of these guys now on fresh tires, full tanks of fuel. They should be good to go to the end. This could be a good strategy call here. We'll see, though, if someone like Bowden and Burrell, if either of those guys can actually make it to the end of this race, or if they're going to need to pit one more time here under caution.
We're going to get the green flag with 30 to go. Walk me through the tire scenario there once again. When was the last time the 69 and the 37 car were on pit road?
So for the 69 car, it was lap 52. For the 37, it was lap 56. So not that long ago, considering, I mean, though, to be fair, we've done most of those laps on green flag, in green flag conditions. So I suppose there is somewhere there. Though, yeah, I mean, for Bowden, 52, even with cautions, I think he's still not quite going to make it to lap 100. So that could be something to watch out for.
All right, so a little bit of drama. We're going to be sprinkling in here for you. And when will the next yellow flag fall? As we see Thornquist this time, this might be the best position for that 02 car there. I do expect him to try and make light work of that 69 car and make the most use out of those new tires here so far. 30 laps to go once we return back to green. It's going to happen this time by pace car. Back on pit road, giving the field back in the hands of that 69, a Colin Bowden.
And he goes back to green flag racing. And, yeah, Bowden with a good launch there. Thornquist then side by side with Ethan Burrell going for second position there. Remember, Thornquist on fresher tires than both Burrell and Bowden. So we'll see how that actually plays out in terms of pace difference between these guys. Also look out Trevor Elam there on the inside as well. That inside line could be moving quickly with all those guys with the fresh tires.
Yes, Thornquist was able to make light work of the 37 car, now setting its sights on Colin Bowden. The question is, can he get him before the next yellow flag flies? There's Trevor Elam there doing the best he can in that 6 car. He's had a good day so far. I would not be surprised if that 6 car is around towards the end of this one. And then Joshua Adams as well. These guys are on newer tires. Both go to the inside of the 37.
Yeah,
Actually, it's just Elam taking a trip downstairs. Now here comes the 95.
Yeah, 95 goes down too. And I mean, we haven't talked about the 95 a ton. He's one of those drivers that I don't really think has any significant damage to that car. Maybe a scratch here or there. But for the most part, from what I can see, we can't really see the right side quarter panel. But that 95, here we go. We might get a good shot of it. Doesn't look like there's really any significant damage to that. So Josh Adams could be another real threat here, considering he has one of the few cars that isn't totally damaged.
Yeah, doing a great job getting around Ethan Burrell there. Ethan beginning to backtrack just a little bit. Have to wonder if clean air plays a factor in the handling, because the 69 car, he has it. The 37 car, once he was passed by the 02, has now been marred back in traffic. Yellow flag is out. Oh. Number 12.
Yep, looks like it could be the 89 car here of Brent Jones out on his own. Oh, but there's a car going around there. Was that the 25 of Jacob Adams? Yeah.
It is.
So going to have to go back to the Whiskey Cast replay and take a look at what happened to that 25 car.
I don't know if he was loose when that happened. He didn't look like he was exiting pit road or anything like that from that initial replay we saw.
Yeah, it might have just gotten loose and was slow there on the bottom of the racetrack, and that kind of sets everything up there. So here it is, the 25. This is Jacob Adams.
Running along just outside of the top 10. Yes.
Loose on the entry.
Spins. Didn't fully go around. Oh,
I think he was about to, and then that 89 car kind of came to the inside and saved the 25, but at the expense of Brent Jones there.
And because of it, the yellow flag, number 12 of the night, is out. On board with Brent Jones, who sees the bubble. Can't really, at that, especially that late in the quarter, you're pretty hard-pressed to try and do anything but go on the line that you are already traveling right there. And unfortunately, that 89 car, wrong place, wrong time, as we've seen time after time after time again.
Yeah, I mean, these cars are already struggling with grip, and if you're Brent Jones, you can't change that trajectory because you're probably going around yourself as well. So, whew. That's that's unfortunate there for the 89 car, but I mean, everybody's just been having issues here tonight. Some people involved in incidents not their own fault, and some people just just haven't been able to keep up with the car.
The one tally appealed.
Yeah, so basically the way that's going to work is the 25 car. I don't know how many hours they have to actually officially appeal it, but right after the race, it might actually take place immediately after the race. But they'll basically prepare their case, take whatever videos, and then go up to the steward's room immediately after the checkered flag waves. Jacob Adams believes that he's not at fault for that incident, despite what race control says. And then they'll review the incident with him. He'll present his information, and if they agree with him, they'll remove that tally from him. So. That's kind of part of this new penalty system, is that the tallies will be issued. However, you have that right to dispute them, so they'll review that after the race. We'll keep an eye out on that, and let you guys know maybe next week when we do find out. But for right now, he does have that tally with him. Though I believe if he does get another one for that 25 car. He won't be parked because he still had one disputed, so he still will be allowed to race.
Interesting enough here tonight. Learning everything here as some of these guys are trying to learn what it is like to handle these race cars here. But yes, we are 3/4 way of the race. gone, I guess we could start taking a look and talking about who we think might be the factors here tonight there, Rashava. I like that 69 car, but I believe that 02 this time is going to be able to start on the outside. He has newer tires there. Will that be able to overcome the speed we've seen out of the 69?
Yeah, so just quickly running through this top 5 at least. Colin Bowden, remember, older tires on that, like you mentioned. So last pitted lap 52, as we're finally going to be inside the final quarter of this race. But, I mean, that 69 car arguably has been the fastest, most consistent car today. Really hasn't made too many mistakes. Meanwhile, Chad Thornquist has also been a pretty clean car there, been up and down a little bit, but also has fresher tires than that 69 car. Going to be one to watch out for. I think outside of Bowden, Thornquist might be the most impressive car we've really seen today, just in terms of the way he's been able to hold on to that machine that not too many others have. Josh Adams then in third position in that 95 car. Again, another one of those clean cars. We're going to look at this top 5, and it's going to be mostly clean cars running up front. And those top 3, all of them really haven't seen any one of these issues that everybody else has been seeing today. Trevor Elam, slight issue to his front right there, but mostly been running very well. A lot of pace in that. It says 6 on your screen, but officially that 29 car for Fueled Up Racing. Look out for him and Tom Bourne as well, rounding out that top 5. We mentioned him. He was in that last car qualifier, quietly worked his way up the field, and again, not too much damage to that 16 car. Could Tom Bourne play the spoiler and move all the way up from last to first in this run?
Yes. He and Colin Bowden, who started tonight with an EOL after a banner issue on that car, he will be credited with the pole, but they've both been able to work their way up through the field pretty nicely as we have 25 laps to go here.
Yeah, final quarter of the race. It's we've made it here after an hour and a half of racing. Hopefully, it's not going to take that long to make it the rest of the way in this event here. Colin Bowden leads, Chad Thornquist leads, Trevor Elam, and then Joshua Adams. We'll see though, can these fresh tires really have that significant of an advantage on Colin Bowden? We've seen, I think, generally the draft is good enough where you don't need any kind of tire advantage. You can, even if a car has a pace advantage over you, I think if you have sufficient draft support, you can make a pass. But right there, as who is that? That's Scott Crump in the 90 car, loose, but saves it there and is going to lose track position, but keeps it pointed in the right direction and keeps us green for the time being.
Yes, you saw more than just a puff of tire smoke coming out of the back end of that 90 car. He did a well of a job saving that race car. As we see Tom Bourne, I keep on saying Tim, my mistake, but he had an issue as well, so he is going to lose touch with the top 5 here. Johnny Thomas thunders by on the outside. Can he get back in line? That's now allowed a 4-car breakaway at the front of the field, led by Colin Bowden there. Johnny Thomas trying to give chase, not going to try and lose this draft. That 95 right ahead of him there could provide that anchor support he needs in order to get that second back hooked up with that first one.
The way I see this is if this race does go green to the end, it's really in the hands of Thornquist and Adams. I think they have the best. It's Thornquist loses it. He's going to lose track position here. Drives it up the racetrack, keeps it pointed in the right direction, though. And, well, I was going to say it was in the hands of Thornquist and Adams. Adams now becomes the lead car with generally no damage and fresh tires, though actually struggles to get by there, and Thornquist going to stay in front in third position. Adams maybe not able to keep it clean or keep it running too well in clean air there. Thornquist kind of holds on there. Craziness out of turn number 4, but that 02 car somehow still hanging on and moving back up into second now.
Yes, that was a big moment there for Thornquist that you said it was in his hands. It was almost out of it. Just a lap ago there. But he's going to gather it up. It just goes to show how ill-handling these cars are on this track here, even for our top 2 competitors of the night. Thornquist, though, going to give chase. He's been able to rebound there, and now he's about 1 car length back behind that 69 car. The question is, though, what can you do to get around him?
Yeah, and we're going to bring in maybe someone who can speak to what these cars have been handling like tonight, and that's going to be David Tooker. Unfortunately, out of this one, Tooker, do you have a copy?
I do.
Man, unfortunately, a very early end to your night here. Only 9 laps completed is what I'm seeing. You were involved in one of those very early on cautions, but just talk to us. What is it these drivers are having to deal with here? It looks like just a car that's going to snap on you at any given moment.
Absolutely. Just this track in general, it's definitely a little loose coming off the corners. You're seeing guys exiting in the top 2 lanes. It's fast up there, but it's really loose coming off the exit, so you're counter steering almost the entire corner. And just the mixture of cold tires on restarts and just this new updates to the car, really, it's just a bad mixture. We're still learning how to build setups and get this car to drive how we want it, and it's just a learning curve right now, especially in these early races. But tonight's just not a night for elite racing.
One that we would like to perhaps remember here as of late, but right now, Chad Thornquist in that O2 car has been able to get around for the first time here tonight. That O2 car in clean air, what can he do to keep that 69 behind him?
Yeah, those fresher tires could be important. I mean, we haven't seen, what does a tire advantage actually have? What does it mean around this racetrack? We haven't had any real green flag running here. Though Thornquist loose into 3, and that's going to allow the 69 car back around. We've seen a couple of bobbles there from the O2 car, and that's going to lose him the lead there just as the caution comes out. So unfortunate timing there for Thornquist as Bowden. Very fortunate, I think, to regain the lead there as a mistake from Thornquist just before that caution comes out.
There is some higher force that will put the yellow flag out. I mean, we've seen it all night, and this time it could involve Jared Rexing and Dallas Myhan. Rexing gets into the 26 car, Myhan paying the price.
Yeah, just unfortunate there for Myhan. It looks like just Jared just got loose on the bottom. It happens, with the side force on these cars, the side draft, it tends to suck you around a little bit, especially when there's air packing on the spoiler with a guy behind you like that. Just really hard to hold on to. Dallas just innocent bystander there.
Yeah, not much Dallas Myhan could do there. And I mean, we've been seeing cars spin on their own. We've been seeing cars spin in the pack. It just seems like right now there is no situation where this next gen Cup car is being really, effective for any of these drivers in terms of aerodynamics. In terms of just the way it's handling, just nobody seems to be able to. As we see some different options there on tire strategy, just nobody seemed to be able to. You have to lift and you have to brake and things like that, nobody seems to really have a grasp on this. We saw it at Pocono last week, and we're seeing it here tonight. Hopefully, not a trend for the rest of this season.
You're taking a look at what pit road will be like for some of these drivers that elected to go down and the drivers that elected to stay out, including Chad Thornquist here, who will now inherit the lead. We'll see what happens there with that. The 95 of Joshua Adams, the highest he has been all day, and then Ethan Burrell electing to stay out as well. Those are your podium runners. But David, while we have you here, what is the conversation like with some of these guys because of this race? I was talking about how you just never really get into a rhythm when the yellow flag unexpectedly, but very much every few laps it's coming out.
Yeah, it's just being in the discords with the teams. It's everyone's frustrated. Everybody wants to race. Everybody wants to run green, but this car is just very difficult to drive right now, and it's. You got guys that want to go out there and push as hard as they can to try to gain as many spots, but you also have guys that are trying to be as careful as they can, knowing that this car is on edge. And with a mixture of that, it just is almost a recipe for disaster. I think with that call right there, I do like this call by the O2 car of Chad Thornquist. I do think track position is going to be the biggest key, especially with how the cautions have fallen. But I would not be surprised if you see Colin Bowden coming back up through the field with those fresh tires, but it's just going to be a race of attrition to the finish, I think, here.
It really has become the race of attrition 200 here at Michigan International Speedway here. Thornquist going to have 15 laps to try and keep the rest of the field at bay. See where Colin Bowden's going to be able to rebound there. He's going to be in the 6th position there. Only 5 cars stayed out. Chad Thornquist, Joshua Adams, Ethan Burrell, Jacob Adams, and Brent Jones in that 89 car. Although heavy damage to the back end of that, I believe. I can't even tell you what manufacturer that car is. That's just how destroyed some of these cars are looking here, and these cars are running inside the top 5.
There you go. It is a Chevy, but yeah, I mean, this is interesting because the tables, the book is flipped, I guess, now, where Thornquist and Adams were, and Burrell, and Jacob Adams as well. These guys were all on the fresh tires that last time around. Now this kind of flips around where the guys who are on the older tires just came down pit road. They have fresher tires here. Again, how much of a difference does this make? We've seen close racing, and it took quite a few laps for Thornquist to get back by Bowden. So at this point, it's impossible to tell. I think it's really going to come down to just the timing of the cautions, because I guarantee you this is not going to be the last caution we see here tonight. So it's really going to be who's ahead when the next caution waves and when the last one waves, and whether the checkered flag, the white flag, caution flag waves to end this race, whatever that is. It's just going to be who's in the right position at the right time. So you just have to keep your car generally thereabouts and be ready for whatever craziness I think is about to come here.
And can you escape being the next victim here tonight? Thornquist back through the Geico restart zone. They fan out 2 and 3 abreast. Tyler Bowden wastes no time. He'll go to the extreme high lane in that 69 car. He's bringing help in the form of Jared Rexing as well. You see a little bit of a blip right there. Technical difficulty, but we gather it up. Brent Jones, though, going to be turned off the bumper, and Trevor Elam. He's off the racing, and there's more crashing in the back of the pack. Yellow's going to come out. Joshua Clark sideways in the corner.
Yep.
Brent Jones got turned off the bumper of the 6 car, and I believe another issue just behind them when that occurred.
Oh, I think Robin and someone else got turned. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll head to the Whiskey Cast replay there, but the 8 car alongside the 89 looks to be where this, or excuse me, the 8 car and the 70 car of Jesse Rasmus seem to be where this whole thing picks up.
Exiting turn number 2. Right there, the 70.
Just tough to see.
You know what? That was right where that happened was right when the 89 and the 6 car made contact ahead of them. I don't know if the 70 car saw that, got on the brakes there just a little bit, kind of stutter brake just to avoid being involved in their issue, and got ran into from behind because of it.
Yeah, I think we'll have to get a better view of it there, but it looks like the 8 of Robin, he looked like he had a run carrying on the outside, and the 70, I believe that's who that was, just didn't expect him to be there, and was starting to come up the track, trying to fill the top lane, and just came up a little bit too late.
Yeah, so there's going to be contact between the 6, like you mentioned, the 6 car and the 89, or technically that's Trevor Elam, the 29 car, but it looks like the 6 car. There was a lobby blink, actually, is what it was, interestingly enough. But there you'll see that contact. So there's the 89 car getting turned. That kind of all happens ahead of these guys, and there's the rest of the wreck behind it.
I don't know if that necessarily. I think you're right there, Tucker. Maybe the 70 just comes up, needing that a little bit of a gap to clear himself. It just was not there on the outside of Joshua Clark, and that's what's going to turn this. But yeah, here's a good view of this.
Ooh, I don't know, actually. That might have been a combination. I think the 8 got loose, and the 70, I think the 70 comes up a little bit, the 8 comes loose, and I think it's just they both come together.
And right away, you're like I was saying, you're seeing guys getting loose on the exit, trying to counter steer. That's, trust me, we would love to not do that, but that's just the way this car's driving tonight. Robin's a very talented driver. He's won a championship in the Xfinity Series. There's no doubt that there's talent behind the wheel of that 8 car, but this car just being very difficult to drive tonight.
So looks like officially from race control.
A couple of interesting notes there. So for the caution itself, the incident, net code, no tally. So we didn't even notice net code really. We just saw that was kind of an issue there that guys made contact. So that makes sense. I agree with race control there, but for the 69 car of Colin Bowden, that's huge. Lane change before the green flag, that's going to really hurt his chances with 13 laps to go. Now, I mean, if somebody can carve his way up through the field in a short span of time, it is going to be that 69 of Colin Bowden. We saw him do it right at the start of this race, but I don't know. I mean, that really hurts his chances here.
Yes, not only are the laps beginning to wind down now, but you're going to have to weave through traffic, and that places you right in the center of the storm of where we're seeing these yellow flags. Will he be able to escape the next wreck that's going to happen?
All right, so how about? Yep.
That's the guy. Sorry, Rich. That's the guy to keep an eye on there. The 69 car. You know, a guy that's running now in the Coca-Cola series, the top series on the NASCAR side of iRacing. Especially with new tires coming down on pit road a couple laps ago, he's going to be the guy to watch to come through this field here for sure.
So keep an eye out for the 69 of.
Cut out for him.
Yeah, keep an eye out for the 69 of Colin Bowden. As they're rolling down the back stretch, I want to hear it here. As even though this won't be our last caution, I want you guys to stake your claim here right now. Who do you think is going to win this one?
The pace car.
Oof, that's a tough choice.
It's a good bet. I
think with looking at the field right now, you know, you got the O2 Chad Thornquist, probably the cleanest car up front at the moment with Adams there. I'm going to go on a limb. I'm going to say that 37 car. I know he's damaged, but you know, he's putting himself in position at the end of this race to put himself in a position to win. So I think he's going to be the one to do it.
Got to keep the boss happy.
Always. My contract gets messed with if I don't pick him.
All right, so 11 laps to go as they fire off once again through the restart zone. Thornquist there with a big draft assistance from Ethan Burrell, trying to clear that outside line before they make it into turn number 1. They won't do so. Joshua Adams back on the outside, and he has Jared Rexing. I believe I didn't get a chance to answer, but that 10 car, we saw him fall way back. Can he rebound here with 10 to go next time by? Joshua Adams going to have a big run. Will he take a look to it? No, he does not, but the 37 car gets underneath the 10 car. Jared Rexing travels around to the outside. They're really getting tight.
I think we see Scott Crump got loose again through turn 3, but again, saves it, keeps it pointed in the right direction. This battle for the lead, though, those 3 Chevys leading the way, but look at this push from the 37 car. They're going to go flying down this front straightaway. Josh Adams very much going to be in the conversation here for the lead to the inside of Thornquist, but I don't think he's going to have enough of a run here coming off of turn number 2.
Oh, Rexing there, you see him as barely, oh, there's the car around turn number 2 once again.
Oh. I think they keep it pointed.
He traveled out of the screen. He was under the yellow line right there. But, wow, things are getting hot and heavy up front. Take a look at Joshua Adams.
Oh.
He's going to clear Thornquist and take the lead away out of turn 4.
Very, very tight racing with these guys. I don't know if I want to do this with this many laps to go still.
So here we go. Josh Adams, I think the first lap he's led tonight. It might have had a couple, 1 or 2 maybe in there earlier, but he's been there or thereabouts. But this 95 car now up in front and leading. Let's see how he deals with clean air. Let's see how he deals with a draft from behind and the runs that guys are able to get here. But it's going to be Adams, Thornquist, Rexing, the top 3. It's a Chevy party up in the podium positions as the caution comes out.
Caution with under 10 to go here. That means the laps are winding down. These drivers are going to breathe a sigh of relief here. We are getting toward the end of this one way or another.
Yeah.
But
I think that 95 car was at 37 a beer for that push down the front straightaway. Put him in that position to get him to the lead. And now he's leading this race with only 8 laps to go and in great position to win it.
I'm not going to lie. I have absolutely no idea what brought out that caution. Nothing is showing up on my ticker. That's kind of out of the ordinary.
I think iRacing is just used to throwing cautions at this point.
We've just seen it all there, Rashov. You didn't need to mention why. We just kind of expected it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, 31 car. Interesting. So we'll take a look here. Gerald Campbell is what it was officially deemed at fault for the caution here. We'll head to the Whiskey Cast replay and see what we can find. Interesting that doesn't show up there on some of our timing and scoring there. So appreciate
Campbell the Dale Earnhardt Award there, and I'm be able to continue on in the race after flipping wildly down the backstretch here. Can't believe what we're seeing out of this 31 car.
It's been something else, hasn't it? It's a shock that the 31 is still running and pointed in the right direction, though potentially after this he won't be, as there he goes loose off of 2 and then a little bit of a bump there. Oh, this could be hard. Oh, okay.
Oh,
not as hard as Not as hard as I expected.
Yeah.
And definitely not the hardest hit he's had tonight there, folks. That car looks practically, I mean, if Harrison Burton's car looked like that after the 500, I would have expected him to still be a contender there. Wow.
I think what's really cool about these next-gen cars is, they're definitely stronger this time around than they were last year. Last year, if you got just the slightest bit of damage, it was almost race hindering. But now that these cars are a lot stronger, they can take a little bit more of a beating. Gerald been in quite a few wrecks tonight. Yeah, I think he was almost in mine. I think he missed it barely, but these cars, like I said, these cars are able to take a beating and keep going.
Yeah, David, mentioning your wreck, you were involved in that heavy crash with your teammate and defending series champion there, Tate Lytle, after Chad Frankenfield got loose in front of you guys. Was there any warning at all when that happened?
Oh, absolutely not. I saw the 15 get loose down on the bottom, and I was sideways entering the corner. I was just lucky enough to be able to save it and drive it straight off the wall. But the 15, it looked like he got a little bit of the grass, and when it does that, it tends to get a little bit of a jump, and he just kind of overcorrected. Just unfortunate, wrong place, wrong timing for me and Tate Lytle. But it's just the product of racing. Sometimes you're the bat, sometimes you're the ball. You just got to be ready for it.
I do have confirmation from Dave Huckleberry on the ground, who's been relaying messages from race control. He did the count. The longest green flag run we've had so far tonight, 8 laps.
Not going to use that to get to the end of that one, so that record is going to stand here tonight. An unfortunate statistic I don't think any of us or any of these drivers expected here coming to the virtual Irish Hills of Michigan. Got to settle this thing, though, pretty quickly with 5 laps to go here, and laps are winding down. No matter what, we still have a race at hand. Take a look on the outside of your screen, just getting into view. That 69 car, top right there, just now out of the frame there on the outside of Tyler Fode. He's been able to work his way up to the 8th position. Does he have enough time to get around these guys?
Yeah,
go ahead, Rish.
I was going to say, I think no worries. I think he absolutely does. 6 to go. We could see one more caution. That 69 car able to work through traffic so efficiently and so effectively. We really don't see anybody in this field, I think, who runs as well as he does through traffic. So we'll see. Fresh tires has that ability to really move forward, and we're about to maybe go back to green flag racing for the last time if we're lucky.
We'll see who's going to be lucky here tonight as Adams gets back on the loud pedal. You see Thornquist immediately block that inside lane there by Rexing, then go back and challenge in that outside lane with Trevor Elam as Joshua Adams tries to get away. Just 5 laps to go here in this one.
Tell you what, I'm keeping an eye on that 69 car. Really aggressive on the restart. 3 wide, already up to 5th place, I believe, looking for 4th. He's going to give a shot to Trevor Elam in the 6th, and they're going to clear Jared Rexing going into 3.
Yes, now he's once again back on the outside looking for 3rd place as we ride from the blimp high above. Thornquist has to look in his mirror and take a look at that 69 car. It's getting closer. Do you block this run? 4 laps to go. To the inside, Thornquist, side draft, and a bump from the 69. They're side by side at the end of the corner. Thornquist on the bottom, threading the needle is the 69 of Colin Bolin, the pole sitter. 8 positions to
the 95.
Joshua Adams is loose. Caution.
Wow. What a run by the 69 car. What a restart. What a pass there for the lead. Just amazing driving behind the wheel of that 69 car.
It was Trevor Elam. Huge hit there. Oh, Jeff Green.
Up and over the 2000 Xfinity Series champion goes after a hellacious hit by the 6 car into the outside barrier.
Yeah, where does this all start here for Elam? I mean, remember, he was right there in that battle here for the lead.
Running along in the 4th position here, just in front of Jared Rexing. He somehow gets put on. Oh, he gets loose right on the apron, and then the car does the worst thing you can do in a race car. It hooks and goes straight up the hill. My goodness, what a
that's a
horrible
perfect
impact.
barrel roll though for Jeff Green. 10 out of 10 on the barrel roll, I will say.
That was a perfect kickflip.
That was beautiful. We got to get an onboard replay of that one from Jeff Green, because that was gorgeous.
Yeah, I think what you're seeing there with Trevor Elam, you just slightly overdrove the entrance of the corner, and when you do that, it just snaps on entrance and center, and with this car being so rigid, it's so tough to. What a beautiful landing there by Jeff Green. But
that was 10 out of 10 right there.
Brendan Gaughan had a wreck like that at Talladega a couple of years ago, where he did one complete rotation before landing back on all four wheels. Green trying to take what was his most spectacular ride from Gerald Campbell away in the late laps of this one.
But like I was saying with Trevor, it looks like he just slightly overdrove the entrance of the corner, and when you do that, especially at a track like this, the car tends to just snap. If you push the car just slightly over the edge, it's very unforgiving, like you saw there, and he tried to hold on to it, but like you said, Alex, when you get on the flat like that, the car tends to get upset, and you try to save it and try to counter steer it so you don't go back up the track, but this car is just incredibly hard to get a handle of when it's sideways like that.
Incredibly hard to handle, very much so for a lot of these drivers. What's not been incredibly hard, though, has been the 69 car navigating through traffic. He was 8th on that last restart. He's going to control it with 2 laps to go. I believe we are in overtime here tonight. We have, as you see on your screen, up to 3 attempts at a green-white checker. Once they make it across the start-finish line, the next flag will end the race, whether it be the yellow or the checker. But Thornquist, I mean, I'd like to see a tally. David, I don't know if you could go back, but just take a look and see every time the caution flag came out when the 02 car was in second place. That happened once again. Don't know if we have enough time. I know you have to go back and through there, but we'll see what happens here. I don't think we're going to get the 1 to go signal this time by, but that 02 car, unfortunately, he's just on the wrong end of strategy. It's going to be really tough to beat that 69 car.
Yeah, Bowden's had the pace all day. Obviously, the pole sitter has had 3 EOLs, including at the start, had one mid-race, and then had one just here recently. So, I mean, he's had to come back up the order. He certainly hasn't had... Appreciate that, Dave.
Thanks for the dedication, though. I appreciate it.
But yeah, I mean, Bowden's had an impressive run tonight. Would not shock me if he puts that 69 car in victory lane, but still a long way to go. I mean, 2 laps on the green-white checker can be a long time in these cars, the way they've been racing here tonight, and a lot can change very quickly. So we'll see. I think looking at this top 4, it's going to be a Chevy, I think, who's going to win this one. Ethan Burrell might have a shot, but he's the only Toyota up there inside the top 6. The first Ford is Tom Bourne in 8th position. Tyler Fode, another Chevy, in 7th.
And we're at the point in the race where it's your friends are where you find them. We'll see guys start to lock bumpers and see how fast they can go down these straightaways, gain as many spots as they can. I think you're going to be looking at the 37 and 95 working together. Josh Adams working for us in our Xfinity team. It's a good friendship there, good relationship there. I think you can see those two try to hook up and see what they can do with this 69 car in 02.
Well, color me shocked, but we're in overtime here tonight. I just did not see that coming there, guys. But now, just 2 laps to decide the memory lane's 200 here. Colin Bowden, you mentioned 3 EOLs trying to rebound and get that 69 car in victory lane. Thornquist, that 02 car, trying to deny him. Just 4 miles to settle it here at Michigan. Already the 69 car with a big gap in front of the 02 as we're back underway. 2 laps to go here at Michigan.
They need to hook up. These 3 cars, the 95, the 02, and the 10, need to hook up if they want a shot at challenging Colin Bowden here. But right now, side by side here, they're taking air off each other. 10 car is going to give the 02 a push down the straightaway. That's the right move here. 95 needs to get in line with these guys, and they might have a shot here when they get to the white flag, but 95 stays to the inside. He's obviously trying to get a podium position out of this, but that's allowing Bowden to just continue to drive away here as the white flag is going to come out.
Yes, just 5 car lengths separate first and second place. Thornquist there in that 0-2. You see the 69 car trying to break the draft as the leader has been able to indeed see the white flag. 1 lap to go here tonight. Jared Rexing falling back to the 4th place position. Joshua Adams has been able to pick up that spot. All eyes on that 69 car. Whoa!
Whoa! And they're spinning around.
Crashing. Johnny Thomas is around at the back of the pack. Ethan Burrell also, Ethan's able to drive through it, looking to stay under the green flag. He has had to navigate through everything tonight. 3 EOLs, but that 69 car will not be denied. And now, Colin Bolin out of turn 4 is going to see the checkered flag first. He scores the win in the Memory Lanes 200 as they crash behind him on the final lap.
Whew. How about that?
Colin Bowden. He, like you mentioned, the 3 AOLs, trying to come back to the field in a race that really hasn't had a lot of green flag laps to do so. Just an incredible drive by the 69.
So Johnny Thomas there go around. I thought he had collected the 37 car there, not with another competitor. But we stayed under the green flag, and yes, you're absolutely right there. So considering the best green flag run we had here tonight was only 8 laps. 8 laps to navigate yourself from the back of the pack forward, and he was able to take advantage every time. That 69 car, your winner here tonight.
Yeah, wow. I mean, a heck of a drive from Colin Bowden. Again, yeah, had to come back a number of times to do so. Was just incredible in traffic. I think the way he was able to slice through traffic. But yeah, I mean, league, everybody I think needs to take a look at this package and figure out how we can make this work here. Because that's back-to-back races here where I think we've spent more time under caution than we have under green flag conditions, and we can't be having that here. Especially with how great the Daytona 500 was. I think we had a great race there. Didn't really have too many issues, and of course then going to Pocono and here at Michigan, just haven't been able to get things rolling.
Not the night for a lot of these competitors that they would indeed want to remember, but definitely one that we will not forget for that 69 car. Colin Bowden doing all he can, and as David had already mentioned, this is a driver who knows how to get it done here, both on the elite side and in the real iRacing NASCAR side there. One of the drivers for the eNASCAR Coca-Cola Series, getting it done here virtually once again. Going to be talking to all of our top 3 competitors, but I believe, Rishav, you have that 69 car.
I do. Colin Bowden, do you have a copy?
I do.
Hey, man, congratulations. It was a pretty up and down night from your point of view, going, grabbing that pole position, then getting the EOL. I think 3 total EOLs for you, but still driving back up to the front and putting that 69 car in victory lane. Talk us through what it was like driving through traffic and also managing the crazy number of cautions we had tonight, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's just the new car, just trying to learn as much as I can with it. I just trying to do the race as much as I can to try and get yourself in positions to see what this thing does, what it likes, what it doesn't like. The race was pretty crazy. It's just it's crazy how much of the draft this thing has, and how you take the downforce away and you're still sliding around, but you're still pack racing. It's definitely interesting. It's something new to learn. So any laps that I can get in it is good practice for me. So.
We, tonight here, Colin, we saw that you went to the back not once, not twice, but 3 separate times, able to work your way through the pack each and every time. But that last one there with about 15 to go, were you a little bit worried there after what race control deemed you as changing lanes there illegally?
Yeah, I didn't think I did, but then I looked back at the replay and it was it was pretty obvious I did, so I wasn't mad at him for that. I didn't know how hard it was going to be to get back up there when it was, go time and everyone was going. I was worried about, having too many cautions and then just getting stuck there. But the holes opened up and we're able to. It's almost a lot like Daytona or Talladega. If you could keep your forward momentum going, you can carry the runs for a good while and don't get stalled out. You can kind of just keep riding that momentum as far as you can. And luckily we got to a point where the pack was split, and then a caution come out, and then we were able to re-rack and do the same thing again, built to run up, so to speak, and then nothing ever stalled the run out. I was able to carry it to the lead, so we I think we just got fortunate with where our caution fell there.
David?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, like you said, Colin, just a long night in the race car. Unfortunately, I also got wrecked out early, but that's just how it goes. I'd want to give you the opportunity to thank anybody you have, any sponsors, anybody up in your team.
Oh yeah, I got to thank everybody at E-Racer, mainly Parker Kligerman and Atlanta Castle, Blue Emu sponsoring car. Really appreciate everything they're doing, and hopefully we can just take this momentum into next Tuesday. Try and make some laps in that. It's good practice in this car. I really enjoy racing it with these guys.
All right, well, congratulations, Colin Bowden, race winner here in the JoinAPS Cup Series. A long night there, but brought it home in the end, so congratulations there, man.
Thank you.
All right, that was race winner Colin Bowden. Next up, we will bring in second place finisher here, Chad Thornquist, and we should have Thornquist. Thornquist, you got a copy?
I do.
Man, good night as a whole. I think P2 can be proud of that result, but man, it seemed every time that caution flag came out, it was when that O2 car was in P2.
Dude, if we ran this last night and I finished second, there would be so many twos. So many. But I wanted that win so bad. So bad.
Well, Chad, I mean, I don't think second place is anything to sneeze at here tonight. It was just a very, very long night. We really did not get the green flag run that I think a lot of drivers kind of somewhat expected, especially looking at other races past, especially at this racetrack for the series here. But just walk us through how hard it was to get to second place, because you had a good car here tonight, but the yellow flags, they just never ended.
I knew it was gonna be tricky with how the strategy was gonna play out. I knew Bowden was gonna pit later than me. I did the opposite of him, just because I pitted earlier than he did, and like Tucker said on the stream, track position is really important. But he got an EOL for a lane change, and then had the restart of a lifetime. Only God knows how. I haven't seen it yet, but me and him had a great battle. I really think I could have gotten the better of him had I maybe 2 or 3 more laps and not have to drive my tail off.
And just wanted to ask you another question, Chad. It was a long night in the race car for you, a long night for all of us, really, up here in the booth especially. Great run by you and your team. Is there any shout-outs you'd like to give to anybody watching on the broadcast?
The people watching me finish second. The team owner, who's part of the crew. Hello, Rish. How are you?
What's up, man? Great job.
Always good to be in the booth after a great result. I really enjoyed that race. Also, shout out to Bowden. Me and him were going hard but keeping it clean. That was the most fun I've had in a while, finishing second.
All right, man. Well, congratulations again, P2 there. It seems to be good results there to start the season here. Oh, excuse me. There is good results to start the season, and hopefully for you, you can kind of keep that rolling as we continue to head into some more different tracks now, moving away from these larger ovals.
As long as I keep up my ice cream diet, that should not be a problem.
There you go, folks. The key to success there from Chad Thornquist.
Yes, sir.
All right, congratulations, man. P2 finished tonight at Michigan. Enjoy that one.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, Chad Thornquist then there with the secret to a P2 finish there. Rough, I think, day in general for back-to-back weeks. I think we've had a P2 finisher who I think probably thought he had maybe a little bit more for it, but to go for that win, but certainly not something to be ashamed of there from Chad Thornquist. And we'll bring in then our third place finisher, Josh Adams. It was a crazy night for you as well, Josh. I mean, it was a crazy night for everybody, wasn't it? Just talk us through that race as a whole, what you were feeling behind the wheel of your race car, and how you were able to kind of bring it back in the end and bring it home to a P3 finish.
I mean, the race was pretty easy. We ran, a lot of it under caution. So, I mean, that's really easy for everybody, but, people made it not so easy.
Well, let's talk about that there, Josh. Your first podium finish of the season here, so a pretty good point day there, but at times it must have been frustrating because that pace car was out so much. You never really had a chance to really see what your car could do. And what did you, if anything, learn from this experience here tonight?
I mean, we're not really learning anything when we're running on setups that aren't updated yet. When we have just like a human going in and changing a couple things to make the car quote unquote drivable, we're not really going to learn anything there. If we would have flip flopped races, maybe put Auto Club here and put Michigan in the chase or something like I suggested a couple of weeks ago, it'd probably been a better show tonight.
And like you mentioned, Josh, the long night in the race car, great run by you and your team getting that podium finish. I know you probably wanted to get a little bit more out of it, but just unfortunately wasn't able to get there. But are there any shout outs you'd like to give while you're up here in the booth?
Yeah, I mean, that P3 was nice. I needed the points. I didn't finish Daytona. I didn't get to show up last week. But, yeah, it's my whole team, Belly Up Sports, Mike Brown for putting the team together, Johnny for being a good teammate, Chris on the roof making the calls, eatsofficial.com, get you some sunglasses before summertime.
All right, man. Well, congratulations on the P3 finish, getting those points on the board. Hopefully kind of gives some momentum heading into the rest of this season. Still a long way to go before the chase, but of course want to be in a situation where you're able to race in and get enough points to fight for a championship there. So finally getting on the right track there, it seems.
Yep, thank you. And you guys are probably lucky. The next Xfinity race is Martinsville, so you got your fill of cautions tonight. I think you guys don't do that broadcast.
Oh yeah, no, I think we were warned about Monday, so I think we're lucky there. Though I think we have Martinsville coming up here, so appreciate the warning.
I think that's mid-April, so you guys have a little bit of time until that one.
All right,
that's your caution fill practicing tonight.
Oh boy. All right, man.
Thanks for thinking of us.
Oh yeah, always. When we put you guys in a situation to have to sit through that, we should be thanking you guys.
I appreciate that, man.
Enough with us, so yeah.
All right, P3 finisher Josh Adams for Belly Up Racing. Great job here tonight, and hopefully we get some chances to talk to you more often, and hopefully after races with a few more green flag laps.
Yeah, I mean, unless David Tooker drives my car next week, I won't be talking to you next week, but maybe the week after.
All right, there, Josh Adams, your P3 finisher. Man, what a crazy race that was as a whole. Just going to run through the quick results there. As we talked about, your top three was going to be Colin Bowden, your race winner. But Chad Thornquist, Josh Adams, P2 and P3, and for some reason this is not showing up here. We'll see if I can get... There we go. For the Memory Lanes 200 results, Colin Bowden, Chad Thornquist, Josh Adams, but Jared Rexing, who was there all night long. Tyler Fody actually nabbing a top 5 there after he went on a couple of wild rides. Same with Jacob Adams. I think once you get out of that top 4, just about every car there had some pretty significant damage to it.
Yeah, that's crazy to think about there. But yeah, Ethan Burrell, Scott Crump, Brett Jones coming back from an earlier spin, Vincent Isabella as well. And you see drivers just outside of the top 10 there. Michael Goodman, Dustin Dewar, Rusty Capel, Gerald Campbell finishing the highest of the cars that have been upside down here tonight. Richard Hines, here to Johnny Thomas, Tom Board, Dallas Mayan, and then Jeff Green, your top 20. So, not the night that we expected. These guys have got to go back to the drawing board a little bit just to, brush up on how to race with one another so that we can put on a better project for you guys at home. But David, I think this is going to be a major topic for most of you guys on Discord and throughout the garage here, the virtual garage area here tonight, about what could go better for next time around.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be a long conference call tomorrow or the next day. But I think most of us we need to gather our heads and try to work together on how we can make the racing better for not only our fans, but also you guys. I know you guys spend a lot of time up here, and especially in a race like this that goes on for however many hours, like only 100 laps. I feel like it shouldn't have been that long, but like I said, we just got to work together a little bit better and just be a little bit more patient and be a little bit more expecting of what the car is going to do in certain situations. But that's going to come with time. The more we drive it, the more we learn. So I think moving forward, we just gotta work together a little bit better and be a little bit more patient.
All right, there. Well, Rashad, I don't want to keep everybody else as much longer than we already have here, but hopefully next week, I don't even know what we have next week, but hopefully we see more of that green flag that we love to see next week.
I think fortunately we will. Watkins Glen, you're not going to have the automated cautions that you get at the ovals. Could still see some incidents, and it could still be a pretty action-packed race, but for the most part, I think we'll be in a pretty good situation in terms of caution. So gives us a bit of a break there before we head back to the ovals and could start seeing some of these again.
David, want to thank you once again for coming up here. I know that's not typically your role here tonight, but always appreciate the expertise we get from the driver's seat. So thank you, and well, I'll give you a chance if you want to shout out anybody you want to shout out to before the end of this one. Sorry, I'm all tongue-tied.
I don't blame you. It's been a long night. Yeah, just want to thank everybody at Pro Edge Racing. I know we didn't really have a great night tonight. Ethan Burrell, only car inside the top 10, not what you like to see, but you know, I think going into next week at Watkins Glen, especially for me, I think that's one of my better tracks, and a big fan of the road courses. If I had it my way, every race would be a road course so we could run green, but fortunately can't be that way. Got to balance it out. But yeah, just want to thank everybody at Pro Edge Racing. I want to thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to be up here. You know, I enjoy coming up here and commentating when I can. I love giving you guys the insight on some things that, you know, you guys might not be able to see. What to expect from a car like this, and just giving you a little bit more of detail. But like I said, been a long night, but it was a fun night.
Long night, fun night there. One forgettable night for some people, but a memorable night definitely for others. So from all of us here, Rashav, as well as I, want to give you guys a chance to just go home and sleep this one off. I know we'll be doing the same here. So, but join us next week, 8:30 time, Eastern Standard Time, right here for Watkins Glen. We'll be turning left and right. Hopefully things will be going right by that time as well. From everyone here for the Elite Racing Network, so long from the Memory Lanes 200, and congratulations to Colin Bowden, your winner here tonight in that 69 car.